everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to the Team Jacked podcast. I am your host, Raymond McNeil. Joining me as co-host is the excellent Judgmental Critter.
Hey, I'm not sick anymore. Woohoo!
The nebulous and vitriolic young Kaiser.
Yeah, I get the vitriolic part, but where's the nebulous come from?
It's literally I'm pulling from a hat.
You just had, dude. At least do me the service and have a generator. Whatever.
He always complains every single stream.
Is a hat not classy enough for you?
Oh, there he is.
Oh,
Literally
Fat Man
no.
message?
Oh, finally.
Yeah. Sorry,
No, Fat Man's here.
Oh my god! All right, well, get your thing loaded up so I can add it in, and I'm gonna have to juggle everyone here. And I'll finish introducing the wonderful Twilight Guardian.
Hello, I'm here, and hopefully not going to be scuffed this time.
Hopefully, we're all hoping for that. And of course, who else is getting loaded up if not Fat Man falling? Okay. Oh god. All right.
He arrives fashionably late.
Everybody.
All right. So everything's gonna look freaking weird for a minute here, everyone. So just give me a hot minute. If my co-host
You shouldn't have assumed it was all going to go without a hitch. You were so hopeful.
No,
You're like,
no,
we're here
I was
early.
hopeful.
It's going to be fine.
My caveat was Fat Man arrives on time, and I can get everything right.
Oh, good for you.
That was your first mistake.
Good for yeah. That's a smart thing to.
Oh, he's the drunk
on,
lobster today.
Yeah. Hey, I show up late. I might as well act the part, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at least you didn't come. You didn't come by car, right?
No.
Fat Man.
Well, he's
I
allowed.
would never.
He's allowed to go by car as long as he's not in the driver's seat.
Well, no, I have an open bottle, so I gotta go by bus.
Okay.
Wait, you're allowed to have like open bottles on transit?
No, but what are they gonna do? Arrest the bus driver? I don't think so.
Because we're not allowed to have like alcohol on public transit.
And this is why America is the fun country.
Yeah, I mean, we're not allowed to either, but who's gonna stop us?
Looking at stream, watching you get it all set up, it looks like you're trying to hack into the Matrix.
It's
really
nightmarish. It's nightmarish. All right, and this is
Oh god,
He's hacking the Pentagon.
filters. Filters. Delete the crop pad. Okay, don't need that. All right, now I need to figure out where Critter is position wise. Okay, she's over there. It just flipped, and she's over here. I forgot this got flipped. Oh.
We're gonna be squished today.
Yes. So hey guys, I show up and immediately the entire stream goes to shambles.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's fine considering. Well, I expect
railing the content.
I expect that this stream is either going to have a lot to talk about or not a lot at all to talk about. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, hey, Boba, right?
Oh god.
It's so strange. It's so strange because like I hate the term boba because we just call it bubble tea up here.
Okay.
But everyone in America calls it boba tea, so it's always referred to as boba. And I'm like, that's not what it's called. Look,
Like,
you have all
I
kinds
thought it
of.
was. I thought that's what they call it. Like over the. Oh, okay.
You got all
That was
kinds
like
of
the thing.
funny little
That's
Canadian. Yeah.
Like,
You
I
call
always
those.
thought that boba was just like a slang term for titties. So.
I thought Boba was a member of the Yogscast. That's a reference for everyone.
They still playing Minecraft over there?
Oh, actually not as much. I mostly watch them for their Triple and Terrorist Town.
Yeah, but wasn't that where
You
like
know
the Spiffing
what?
Brit got
It's
his start?
probably best.
Other way around. I think he got brought into them.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah. Done that.
It's it's probably best that whoever they are didn't get into Minecraft very much anymore. I hear that community has been under a lot of fire.
No, they still do it from time to time. In fact, I think they have a new Minecraft series going on, but they've been all over the place, just trying to find a new niche.
Yeah, I mean, you can only
Marcus, you're right. He said, Canada, we can't have alcohol in our public transport. America, what's public transport?
Fair.
Yeah.
Have those.
While Raymond is still rearranging his 7,000 dot matrices, thank you, Cape Morning, for the $2 super chat. How true do you think this meeting talks for Ruby?
That's
unsure.
going to be how true is it that?
They're talking about like,
Oh God, that's horrifying. I'm so sorry, Fat Man. You're a skeleton lobster now.
No.
All right. This blue. All right, and then
I would say kill it with fire, but I'm not sure fire would even work.
Yeah, you gotta kill him
fire
with
would be
boiling water.
delicious. He's a lobster.
Slightly different than fire, you know.
Well, she from the Sketchy Huntsman did say that he wanted to just eat Fat Man. I guess he said that he looked delicious.
Yeah. I'm all like seasoned with alcohol.
Oh my God, beer battered lobster. That actually, that there's something there. I don't like beer. I don't drink. I mean, just that. But
I don't like beer either. But like using it to cook, different story. There.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Brats? That's it.
Just gotta do some fine tuning on this, and we should be good to go.
All right.
Look at us. I disappearing again. Make sure we got to keep those.
My next character, I'll make sure to have gray, green, blue, and magenta. So there's no way you can color key me out.
I might just like leave.
You're never gonna keep her down.
You might literally just hear me walk out the door.
Yeah.
All right.
Just like, that's like a Dashi's model has like rainbow colored hair, so like she's
God.
as far as the color key goes.
She did not make her life easy on that.
No.
All right, there.
Cruel.
Everything needs to be slightly adjusted because I accidentally pressed something the wrong way. But we're fine. We're good. We're all good here. We're all dandy. All right. Sorry for that, everyone.
I'm not.
I would say it's unexpected, but no, it's completely expected. It's just it's a problem you have to solve in the moment.
What are you talking about? That's going to be the best part of the stream.
Oh, don't make me depressed.
Everyone's going to clip that part. That part's going to go viral. People are going to be so disappointed we're talking about cartoons when all they want to see is you rearranging green screens around.
Yeah. It's going to be a time lapse. There's going to be some like hacker music.
We should do an entire just stream of me just playing Tetris.
At least we get clipped at all.
True.
Anyway, yes. So, hello, welcome to the Top Podcast. Today we are discussing the end of RWBY, as far as we are aware.
At least it's the end of Rooster Teeth.
Yeah, because
with a bunch of asterisks. Asterisk.
Yeah, Flex Asterisk does come with that Cape Morning super chat, which we will answer now. How true do you think it is that Rooster Teeth is in meeting talks for extending Ruby's lifespan? I don't
know why they would have said it otherwise.
Yeah, I don't know why they would have said it otherwise. I think then they would have probably gotten like, I don't know why they've never like crowdfunded at all. Like it'd be so smart of them. They're supposed to be an indie company.
That's what I said like weeks ago.
Dude, add that to the Team Jacked. Add that to the Team Jack bingo card. Let's mention the billionth time that Rooster Teeth should have crowdfunded their shit.
Didn't they crowdfund the video game? They crowdfunded something.
I think it was one of their board games.
They crowdfunded Laser Team, I thought.
Yeah, Laser Team. God, I remember Laser Team. They had the one guy who could run really fast, and all they did was film him running at normal speed and then just sped up the footage. It's like, yeah, good job, guys. way to show off that budget.
The low budget method. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they only got like $2 million for it, so it's completely understandable. But still, that was like the part that made me laugh the hardest in that movie.
Well, I was gonna say like that you could do that intentionally and just be really shit at it to be like super fun. Like that's what Rooster Teeth can do because they're a comedy company, or they were, and then they got bought out and they're a podcast company, and now they're dying.
Even when I was at like the height of my Rooster Teeth fandom era, I still never watched Laser Team because I just did not care.
No interest.
Honestly, this is the very first time I even heard of this freaking thing.
Sora Heart says, I wanted to say hi and say to Twilight, I'm now vacationing in Canada, leaving tomorrow. It's very nice here.
Oh, I'm glad that you're having a good time. Where are you vacationing exactly?
Watch it be Quebec.
Street.
Well, if it was like my exact street, then that would be very interesting.
Like, are you vacationing? And then they just show you your IP address.
The subject of the stream would change real quickly. Then that actually might not be a bad. I mean, it's sort of like the movie Unfriended, but like grounded and good.
Well, I was gonna say like, oh, if you're like vacationing on my street, then you're a liar saying that it's nice here because it's usually overcast. But then I looked out my window and I'm like, oh wait, there is something bright outside. That's the sun, isn't it?
Sun. Dude,
your English
like
Canadian heritage
Simone
is showing
and
through.
Kamina in the first episode. You're like Simone and Kamina in the first episode of Gurren Lagann, finding out that the sun exists.
I mean,
they've been underground for all their lives before then.
Yeah, well, like, because I live in a temperate rainforest, so it's usually overcast here if it's not outright raining. So we usually make the joke. It's like, oh, it's sunny this month. But he said that he's vacationing in Vancouver. That's great. Vancouver is awesome. I miss being there so much. I'm so excited to go back for this year's convention.
At some point.
Vancouver is lovely.
I always wanted to be there.
It's a good place. Maybe Team Jacked vacation to Vancouver.
Yes.
That'd be cool.
Fuck it, let's do it. We gotta.
We'll go up 2 years from now. We can make it. Oh my God, we can make it a business expense.
Yeah.
We can write it down on our
tax write-offs.
Yeah. Yeah. We just gotta stream from there for like 5 minutes and it counts.
Fuck yeah.
But no,
well, we could go to all of these different places. Like I could take you guys all to the night market. The largest night market in all of North America.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about the night market is waiting in line for like 15 minutes. That's not fun.
Yeah. I mean,
but
like, that just goes to show how popular it is.
Oh damn! I could finally get somebody for my squires to follow.
But yeah, okay. So to finish off on the point that we started talking about, I do not think they would have said it if they didn't have it, and they mentioned specifically it's the same partners they had to help them produce Volume 9. So they not only did they say that they were talking, they did mention that at one point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So not only did they mention they were in talks, they mentioned, even though we don't know who, they did mention specifically who they were in talks with.
Oh,
so
well,
I feel
know it's Crunchyroll.
Well, I don't think it was just Crunchyroll. I think there's actually more people involved than just Crunchyroll.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
The only people I can imagine who would like I can actually think really would be on board with it would be A24 because they pick up all kinds of weird stuff. So.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. Oh God, A24 RWBY. I would like.
I don't know any of the A24.
You would make a new review, right?
I would drink all of Tom's tears.
So yes.
Oh man, it's not with that. That's not what wants to happen.
Well, being in talks doesn't mean that there's guaranteed that the talks are going to pull through as well. So we still have to wait with bated breath to see what goes on.
Admittedly, in the last stream,
I mean that's more optimistic.
In the last stream, they mentioned that talks were going well. So, and I don't think they would have mentioned that otherwise. But again, the counterpoint to that is they could just be trying to keep fandom pop, energy high to make it more marketable. So
maybe, but I don't even know. Like, if they wanted to say something like that, why not do that before releasing the animatic? You know what I mean? Like, why not do that then?
Well,
yeah.
maybe they weren't at that point. Michael Kaufman, you want to fight about it? You want to fucking fight about it? You want to go? Want to step outside, buddy? Unless that was the first half of you going, ooh yeah. Want to fucking go?
I heard mixed things about A24, so I don't know.
Well, whoever was mixing it up was liars.
Wait, what mixed things? Watch The Witch. Watch The Lighthouse. They're amazing.
Well, I was gonna say, like, A24, they're sort of like, they're the not shitty Blumhouse. Like,
that's kind of how I would describe it.
Yeah, so, like, Blumhouse is rarely a hit. A24 is like 50-50. And I imagine there's a lot of A24 shit
That's
that just
what I meant.
falls under the radar
either
because it's
you
not
get
very
something
good.
really good, or you get something really mid. That's all I heard. I don't think I've ever seen a movie.
And considering it's RWBY,
yeah.
it's probably going to be very mid.
Well, what's a mid A24? Like, I haven't seen their entire catalog, but like, what's a mid one?
From what I would
I don't
classify,
know. I don't remember.
I don't think it's like the ones are good and ones are mid. I think it's there's ones that are really good and more general audiences find palatable, and then there's the ones that are well made but not everyone's
They're
cup
super
of
highbrow.
tea.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of because like they are kind of like love it or hate it movies. It's just because they're very they have a fucking dial.
They're esoteric.
That's a nice way of putting it. Artsy. Different.
Artsy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of one.
If you can't say anything
avant-garde.
nice, then don't say anything at all. Unless if you can
I know. They
find
produced
a word.
Tusk. They produced Tusk. There you go. There's one.
Oh, they produced Tusk? Okay, all right.
Did.
Yeah. Take your Kevin Smith and suck it.
They make a lot of things where you'll be sitting there in bed hours later going, what was that?
Good,
Why
bad,
did
it
I
doesn't
watch
matter.
this?
That's what they're going for. Okay, so
Elite, if they're memorable, I'll check them out.
So let's talk about what. Well, actually, first, Tevin Daniels. Good evening from Bermuda. Oh, been a fan of your RWBY rewrite and inspired me to make my first short story. I've currently just finished the second draft. Excellent work.
Yay!
Now make a third, fourth, fifth,
Hell
sixth,
yeah,
seventh. Just
dog.
keep on drafting until you feel good with it. And then you get someone else to look it over, and they tell you it's shit, and then redraft. That's how this works. Okay, so
Oh my god. Wait, Jonah Williams. Clearly it's time you all force yourselves to make positive RWBY content to trick partners into giving us Volume 10. It's all up to you now. Clearly it's the only solution.
well, it ain't starting today, because today we're talking about RWBY Volume 9 Beyond. In focus, and then we'll also be like doing a little bit of a retrospective on the entirety of RWBY, just in the off chance that this is really the end for them. So RWBY Volume 9 Beyond, and I will read you directly from the blurb that was promised to us. A storybook animation-styled anthology series will tell the untold stories happening in Remnant during Volume 9 and even beyond. That is what we were sold on for Volume 9 Beyond. That is not what we got.
Nope.
At all.
Well, we mostly got the and beyond part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what one of these
Like-
episodes really
like a
needed to
series
focus
where-
on? Jaune. We
Yes.
needed another
God.
Jaune-specific
Before
episode.
that, how can you call it beyond if it's supposed to take place in the middle?
Well, beyond the main
I was saying
story. Beyond the main story, so I get
Okay.
it.
Beyond the death of the company.
Yes. When I hear, oh my god. Beyond two souls. Anyways,
Sky
whenever
Slasher
I hear the
says,
word
"Save Death
beyond, I
Battle.
mean
It deserves it
forward,
more."
right?
Indigo Demi Panther says RWBY should have taken some tips from World Trigger. I don't know World Trigger, but Save Death Battle more.
It's on our list due to Kaiser,
Ah,
so we'll
hell
watch that
yeah.
someday.
yeah.
World Trigger's so good.
But yeah, no, Save Death Battle, I'm indifferent.
I know people like it.
I know people like it.
I would want
Death Battle or
survive,
the
like,
tax write-offs.
True. Can they beat the allegations?
Actually, oh my god, that would have been a great way for Death Battle to kind of go out. It's like, who would win, Rooster Teeth or financial instability?
Oh.
Can you, like, that's the kind of shit that we came to Rooster Teeth for. That's what people wanted in it. Instead, we get shit like Junior Detectives.
I just hate them. Ooh, I'm just filled with rage.
So, ironically,
and here I sit, not really caring about Death Battle, not really caring about like RWBY all that much beyond how much I can make fun of it. I don't care about Red versus Blue. It's like, what am I here for? I just kind of got absorbed into.
Why are we here? Just to suffer.
I still find that so funny. It's like, I shouldn't be here, and yet I am. How did this happen?
Philip Schwartz says, A24, like Hasbro Hotel, so RWBY didn't fall into the ever after. They fell into hell. I wonder how RWBY would look in Vizzy's art style.
Oh, no. Now I have to draw that. Why did you say something?
You ruined the life of every artist here.
I'm already so busy.
I'm not even an artist. I don't want it.
Let me tell you something, Critter. Critter, if you manage to get that done, you will get. I'm pretty sure that will pay off your rent for the month.
I'll make a speed run, like a speed drawing.
Also, you're right, Jonah. I am basically here for Fractured Fairy Tales. If I'm going to be thankful for RWBY for anything, it's giving me the idea for Fractured Fairy Tales, because I've been stuck on that idea for a very long time. I didn't know how to go forward with it.
Dragon Paul Z says, do I need to watch the episodes before watching this stream? Don't even fucking bother. We're gonna recap them all.
No.
And they're like 6 minutes at most each apiece. Timur Shabav says, what are the chances for Netflix to get RWBY? They clearly have better record with their anime productions than Crunchyroll and their originals. I don't know. I doubt that's in the cards. I think it's going to be Crunchyroll sniping it.
On Netflix.
In fact, I would say Volume 9 being on Crunchyroll was a massive. I mean, it was. Everyone pointed out it's a massive alarm bell, and it rightfully an alarm bell for Rooster Teeth.
Yeah,
they were always they were always so desperate to paint RWBY as a really for reals anime. And so they only ever had eyes for things like Crunchyroll or the like High Dive or whatever, the ones that have all the animes on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember all the people that were like, "No, it's not a warning flag. It means that they're going bigger."
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, completely shifting your demographic. That's, never a bad sign.
I mean, only the first 3 seasons was ever dubbed in Japanese.
Well, no, apparently
right?
they did. They got dubbed later.
They've gotten further. They've gotten
the remaining 6 got dubbed later. Also, I learned something interesting. The original, I had always been under I had been told that volumes 1 through 3 had been basically cut up and spliced together into just one continuous season for airing in Japan. And that's true. Like things like the Jaune arc were cut out. However, on DVD releases, they get the full actual RWBY's volume 1, 2, and 3 experience dubbed. So I didn't know that.
Paying more for a worse experience.
that would be so confusing. Be like, which version is the real version? Which one do you get?
And then they eventually learn none of it.
I hear that they originally cut out the Jaune arc because it's not really good. Like, they don't like the idea of showing depictions of cheating in school. I just heard that as a rumor.
I remember you told me that.
I thought they did it because no one liked it, and so they're like, just act like we were better than we were.
In reality, they just needed to trim time, apparently.
He didn't really cheat in school. He just lied to get in.
That's still a really big deal over there.
Yeah, that's still a big deal.
Speaking of the man himself who gets disrespected in the very first of the episodes that crops up for us, which is the only one that quote unquote fulfills the original promise of showing things happening concurrently with what the ever after, but back in vacuo. So we get the junior detectives with Sun and Neptune trying to figure out what the fuck happened to Team RWBY, which is one of the dumbest things ever for so many different freaking reasons. For one, they know what happened to them. Everyone should know what happened to them.
Yes.
They fell. They were told not to fall. People knew about this, but they fell anyway. And
it's
now,
weird.
Yeah.
Because they're like, it's so weird hearing other random characters talking about seeing maidens and speculating on the summer maiden, but still being like, but what happened to Team RWBY? And it's like, what do you mean? How do you know this, but not that?
There was a big fucking portal in the middle of the desert. You were there. And not the other two teammates you have.
I do find it funny, though, that the whole episode was like, what happened to Team RWBY? And it's like, well, I mean, there was also Jaune, because he can't not be involved in anything related in comparison to his other two teammates, but you're gonna only focus on Team RWBY. But it's just really funny that he has to always be there, but yet he never gets focused on.
I like the fact that they decide to shit on Jaune when it's like, what the fuck? Why? Why?
Yeah, they haven't been watching the show. They don't know how.
Right. Yeah, that's our job. You're stealing our spotlight.
He's considered your friend. People in the fandom think you're friends.
I honestly think every episode of RWBY Beyond was written retroactively as like in reaction to criticism of Volume 9. Like people are like, why is Jaune such a special snowflake? And they're like, oh, we'll have everyone else is gonna be like, yeah, we can't stand Jaune either. And it's like, stop trying so hard.
You've already jumped right to what I was going to bring up, like at the end with the conclusion of all this. This is the highlight of retroactive writing. This is them reactionary. That's it, reactionary writing. This is them seeing all the criticisms for Volume 9 and being like, we got to address those, which
finally got Miles out of the office, and they're like, oh, let's go, let's fix it. Without realizing it's far too late for that.
Far too late.
Well, I was gonna say, if you had Critter's way, it'd be Carrie that you got out of the office. That woman has had two just vicious rants against Carrie in as many weeks.
Yeah, seriously.
It was great. I loved it. I love it when Critter gets so angry. It's so funny.
I haven't gotten to that part of the whole thing. I wish I finished it, but I was so busy, and I decided to just speed run the last 2 episodes on my own.
Teddy Bear Paladin.
But like, yeah.
In my prison of disposable plastic, I was joined by a few old friends. An action figure, some of its paint scratched away, but always cherished. A doll dressed and torn, sewn back together. A Funko Pop. Okay, you can.
Yes.
You can get rid
they
of
have a party now. They have a team.
Oh yeah.
It's a JRPG.
I mean, I guess every party needs a punching bag. So I mean, I don't like Funko Pops.
Nendroids are so much better.
It'd be funny if it was a Funko Pop of a punching bag character.
It's the Funko Pop.
My friends in real life. I have a group of friends in real life that are just obsessed with those things.
Yeah, Kaiser, find better friends. You have us now.
Why do you think I'm here? I'm joking. I love all
you know, I will say, Funko Pops of non-human characters are significantly better than the human ones.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indigo Demi Panther, you didn't need a super chat just to be horny on main.
Yes, they did. Because it's Theodore. It's Theodore.
Yeah,
look at that man.
The one positive of this is we got a visual for Theodore. And that's it.
Yeah.
Have you seen the version of his concept art where he has his tits out? Yum.
So basically what you're saying is that it's the best part of RWBY content. We finally got a DILF.
We win! We got him!
We got him.
So should we at the very least...
get a towel for Critter, please.
So one thing this doesn't address is why the fuck is Raven here at all? And the second thing it doesn't address is who is the mysterious person standing behind them wearing a cloak? Are they the Summer Maiden? They make a joke about that, and then Sun's like, no more new characters. Like they're talking to the audience, and it's really goddamn annoying.
They're just paraphrasing us.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like you literally, dude, you can't say no new characters when you literally brought in a couple of characters from the books that apparently would not join Salem if what I've been told is correct. What the fuck?
It depends what she tells them and how she tells them, because maybe she promises them the kingdom and then double crosses them, but whatever. It's lame. So,
you know what would make me really mad? If this actually worked. This joke just made everybody so curious. Who is this person?
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, like, a lot of people speculate that it's
you
Summer
know
Rose,
the
but
people that they are catering to. It's gonna work.
we know. I would say we know for a fact this isn't Summer Rose, because in the 4th episode we see weeks after Team RWBY has returned. It has been weeks, and they don't make mention of it. So their long lost, presumed dead mother returning. So
yeah.
Well, maybe she just didn't take off her hood. You don't know. Everyone has hood blindness.
Guy Slasher, why is the Summer Maiden still hiding? Who the fuck knows at this point?
It's the desert. It's not hiding to keep your cloak up.
Did you see this building? It doesn't have any closable doors. Sand will just get in.
Yeah. The hood being up is just a survival tactic. And she's like judging Raven and the other one, like, why the fuck do you guys not have cloaks with hoods? You're gonna get sand everywhere.
Leon critiques. $100 says that Summer Maiden is Summer Rose. Okay, you're gonna lose that money, dude.
You know what? Here's the thing. Super chat us the 100, and we'll pay you back when you're inevitably right.
No, don't actually.
Yeah, I'm kidding. Don't
do that. No.
You're not getting that money back.
And
I joke saying that's going to be us, but I mean, legitimately, you're going to lose like at least $15 of that to YouTube. I have no control over that option.
Well, that just means that just means that if you wanted to donate like $100, you have to donate $115. Dang.
But yeah, so this episode basically ends with Neptune and Sun getting flung away by Crow after they're like trying to sneak in and see what's going on in this super secret meeting.
Also, that's stupid. The whole hiding secrets thing was like the reason they hated Ozpin the whole time. And then they all went back to doing the secret Illuminati thing.
He had a point.
Yeah, it's almost like Ozpin was correct in hiding secrets from people sometimes. Like, dude, what the fuck? Also, Chronosphere.
They just don't like
Batman falling joins the battle.
Oh god, I gotta see this now.
I just posted it.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I might be misremembering the last episode of Volume 9, but like Raven being there is like a retcon from the animatic, right?
Right.
Like when they got out, they were like in the city for some reason because they didn't want.
Well, it's possible.
Episode on Raven.
I think the way they're going to do it is going to be kind of janky, where they came out of the portal on the hilltop. And then Raven is like pops out and is like, "What the fuck? You're back? Okay, let's get you into the city." And they teleport.
But then, of course, that leaves the question of like, why the fuck would Raven even be here? If anything, all of this happening completely vindicates her beliefs that, like, fighting Salem is useless.
Well,
I'm better off on my own.
Well, presuming that Veil has fallen, like they said in the animatic, and that she was with Ty, and we know that Ty at least stopped in Vacuo and is out on missions thanks to the 4th one of these. she just came here because there's no other safe because Patch fell.
I don't think anyone in Team RWBY
what's gonna happen.
I don't think anyone in Team RWBY would be like thrilled to see Raven, you know?
Yeah, no. Well, I don't. Has Ruby ever seen Raven? Even?
Yes,
Has Blake?
Volume 5.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, like,
That's a good question.
I
Blake
haven't
hasn't
seen
Raven.
Volume 5.
Blake is
No,
just
she
gonna
never
be like,
met-
"Oh
she
my god,
never
it's me
met.
from the future."
I can't
Oh
wait
my
to
god,
abandon our
it's
child,
the
Yang.
source of Yang's attraction to me.
So then we get the second one. And the second one is all about our dear buddy Jaune.
Oh boy.
So
Gotta be
if the
honest, I
first
haven't
one
seen it.
the first one was the reaction to we didn't see anything happening in Volume 9 surrounding Vacuo, that's effectively what the first one is. It's terrible at it, but that's what the first one is. That and where's the Summer Maiden and why haven't we seen, like, Theodore? Like, there's a lot of small things that first one touches on, doesn't really do anything with, but it touches on. There's a lot of... This one is much more directly in relation to a strong critique that I think a lot of people had, myself included, about Jaune and them reversing his aging is, does he still have old man brain? And the answer is yes. And this is the one thing I'm going to get. I actually really like this episode. I think it's actually the best well done, the best written of the episodes, and it's handled the most realistically. Even if I don't like the overarching nature of it, I appreciate the fact that they didn't forget this and they actually went into detail of what it's like for Jaune and the struggles he now has emotionally and, like, mentally being an old man.
You know what would be really interesting? Like, I'm not saying that they have to do this in order for it to be good, but, like, the idea that he still has this mentality and the memories of being an older man, but it's trapped inside the brain of a young adult. And he doesn't know how to handle it because he can recognize all of these things that his brain is doing because he's in the body of a 19, 20-year-old, but he has the mental reasoning of a 40-year-old.
Yeah.
He just can't help himself.
There was no room for it to breathe, but what we got was... It's enough of a... We're not forgetting about it, but it's not enough for me to say confidently they're not going to forget about it if the series continues. Like, the best I can say about this is that this is going to be the one time they actually address it, and then they're never going to touch on it again. That's what I imagine this is.
Oh no.
And
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time.
Exactly.
It really wouldn't be the first time.
I remember how we never touched upon the fact that Penny died, and she never talked about what it was like or how they repaired her or anything like that.
Yeah.
But we'll save that for the 4th episode.
Oh God, yeah.
Ugh.
Critter, are you really far away from your microphone?
I was away. I was worried I was like gonna blow everyone's ears out, so I moved it really far away.
You're fine. You
Let's
were
do it
fine. Go
closer.
to what you were doing earlier. I cannot hear you.
You sound like you're across the room now.
Okay. Every time I watch the streams back, I'm like, oh, I'm just so loud and annoying and obnoxious. Everyone hates me.
Critter, that's everyone when they hear their own voice in recording.
I mean,
I was
listen
about
to you,
to
Critter.
say.
You are loud and you are so clear. And then there's me who sounds like I'm blown out and like I'm speaking through a $20 microphone, even though that this microphone is like kind of higher end. It's just because I have a USB microphone. I don't have the fancy one like you do. You're fine. If anything, I probably sound low.
I was I saw a post on Tumblr, I think, and it was because they point out in the episode that
You are
Alex
still
and
really
Lewis,
quiet.
I
they
can
point out
hear
in
her.
the episode that
yeah.
Alex and Lewis are from before the Great War, so that would make Jaune actually
What?
way older than we all initially thought.
Oh no,
Oh my god.
people asked about this, and just because Alex and Lewis are from before, there's time dilation going on in the fucking Ever After. Like they spend what, a grand total of 3-4 days in the Ever After. Like that's all of Volume 9.
Right. And that was like months.
It was
in
weeks.
the real world.
It was
that's
weeks
like
in the real
at least
world.
2. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? I thought it was okay. Oh, Dedarex, the boy. Okay, what do we got? Angry Critter. Nice. The return. Prodigal son.
It's so cute.
It is cute. Oh my god.
I just imagining angry dog noises.
Also, Josh Thomas Moore knew, gotta love Norm making jokes about John's traumatic events in the. Wait, did that happen?
Oh yeah, because
I didn't see that
she's
episode.
very
I
proud of the
skipped it.
fact that he's the Rusted Knight. Like they kept making comments that my best friend is the Rusted Knight, and it's like, but.
Okay, I'm gonna look at it in a different tab, and then I'm gonna see how I feel about it.
Just be prepared for long ads. By the way, for those of you who haven't watched any of the streams or anything that talk about these, the ads on Rooster Teeth's website still suck. They're awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. It is insane.
We're talking
like when you get to the middle of the video, they have 3 fucking ads at once.
When
that they
I
bombard
watched,
you with. It's the same.
When I watched the final one, which is a 4-minute short, in the middle, after 2 minutes, there is 2 minutes of ads, and they repeat the same ad 4 times.
Oh god.
Oh god.
It was 4 30-second ads that added up to 2 minutes, and God, I remember when we were going through the freaking epilogue, that if you paused for longer than like 5 or 6 minutes, you might have to reload and watch another goddamn ad, because the player is just
so shit.
You know what the most
so
egregious part is? They don't even let you sign up for first memberships anymore. And
they have
the
that overlay,
banner for signing up for first still takes up the bottom third of the screen on the website.
It's awful. It's awful.
It's like, you can't join first. Get the banner out of here.
I tried to delete it and it just came right back. The inspect was cool, but it doesn't work enough.
Damn.
I opened the 3rd episode for my stream, for my watch along, and like I watched the stupid Tide ad. I hit pause once it's done, and I guess I paused too quickly because the video was like, we don't know what you want. I'll just move the little dial all the way to the end of the episode, and I'm like, no. And then I tried moving it back, and I'm just like, well, now I have to buffer because I don't know what you mean. And so I had to reload the whole thing, and then I got the ads from the middle because it thought it was at the end of the episode now. I had to watch the 4 ads, and then move it back to the beginning, and then I got another ad because I had to go back to the middle. I was fuming.
Critter, you are still very far away from your microphone, it sounds like.
I will see.
If you can move like 80% closer.
Give me a second.
There you are. Okay, we're back.
There you are.
We're back.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to. I didn't
Oh,
actually.
you know what?
Go ahead.
Also, I got to that part.
What was it, Critter?
I
think my microphone had kind of unplugged.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Play a lot. No.
You guys see something, Fat Man?
So, yeah. So, okay, I didn't actually get to watch the 4th one before the stream started. So I'm just like reading the subtitles, and I got to the part where Yang is like, oh, about what happened in the Ever After, and Ruby's like, what do you mean? I'm like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Wait, is she saying that she doesn't remember drinking the tea?
But yeah, so just to clarify on the John one, because we're kind of done with it. There's not much to talk about.
I saw that part. I know what you mean.
Other than addressing
it's something.
Well, I just wanted to move on from the John thing. I wanted to kind of just cap it off because
go ahead.
there's not much more to talk about.
We don't
with
want
John.
to talk about Jaune anymore.
He's an old man. And he's dealing with that by talking to Oscar, who is slowly being possessed by Ozpin, and it's still treated like a bad. It's treated like a bad thing here, like it was in the end of the whatchamacallit. And to everyone that said it's not treated like a bad thing, it's treated like a bad thing. Wiser and Umbreon. Anyway, so yeah, John's old, and him and Oscar just come to the conclusion. It's like, just live life in the moment and try not to struggle too badly with it. Like, there's a coping mechanism in there. It's pretty basic, but it's fine. It's fine. So John's an old man now, and it'll probably never be brought up again. The end of his story. All right, you guys can talk about whatever you were going to talk about.
At least he was treated with more dignity than Sun. Jesus Christ.
It is. It is a much more dignified episode. All the rest of these are much more dignified episodes.
It's so weird that they start. Do I sound good to you guys now?
Yeah.
Like, is it? Okay, good. It's so weird that they start on the really weird, goofy, dumb Junior Detectives one, and then all of the others are completely different tonally. Like the Junior Detectives feels like RWBY Chibi again, but not in a Chibi style, and the other three don't have that at all. And it's weird that they have that in general for their one of only 4 episodes.
Yeah. I mean, now you guys know how I feel when I watch RWBY at all. But I'm just like, what is this tonally whiplash garbage? It's like, it's so inconsistent.
The 3rd episode of RWBY Beyond is The Adventures of Somewhat, which follows, well, Somewhat and Juniper. And it's cute, I suppose. It's all about them basically retracing the steps of the main characters through the Ever After and meeting all the Ever Afterans that they had come in contact with. Now, I guess I can't really ask any, because we all know what this is here for. This is damage control, because a lot of people were saying, hey, Team RWBY kind of left the Ever After in a really fucking bad place at the end of things. Which they did.
Right.
And now this video isn't, this entire short is to show, no, they didn't. Everything's hunky-dory. Everyone's fine. Everyone's better than fine, in fact.
Did you read Toad Sage's super chat?
Oh, did I? What was it? Oh, Toad Sage. Okay. Oh, I was going to. We got distracted. Right. Thoughts on RWBY starting as getting the gang back together type story? Like, imagine starting at V4 with the characters already separated while getting flashbacks on how they got where they are, similar to 7 Deadly Sins. Never seen 7 Deadly Sins, but it might be an interesting approach to RWBY. I've seen fanfics that start that way. I've read a couple. They're all right. Really, again, there's no... That's just a change in perspective. It's not actually a fix to problems. Because if it were to do that, but then we get all the same execution as we did in the actual show, it would still be just as bad.
Right.
Yeah.
In fact, it might be worse because you're now juxtaposing
on that idea.
The volumes 1 through 3 directly up against volume 4 onward, where you start to get some major contradictions and shit. So,
yeah.
I mean, you kind of have, that's kind of like the scenario with Rebel Moon, where you just have these characters doing things, and then because so many other things have happened from before the story happened, they just kind of sit down and have flashbacks and stuff like that.
Okay, but Rebel Moon is amazing.
Pretty much.
Like, I had fun watching Rebel Moon. RWBY, it's much more hit or miss.
Yeah, Rebel Moon's at least fun bad. RWBY's just bad.
I didn't even think Rebel Moon.
Well, I don't know about that. I had a really fun time shitting on Volume 8. A certain friend of mine who was watching it for the first time, not so much.
Okay, but what I mean is, like, the whole of RWBY is inconsistent, because Volume 5 is painful to sit through.
Okay, yeah, that is boring. I have to skip it to get to the actual good, bad parts.
Hope in the interstice? I don't know what that is. Get U-Block Origin. It will save you, I swear. I already have enough ad blockers.
The only website you're allowed to ad block is Twitter.
Yeah.
I use uBlock Origin because I I like some of these ads are so intrusive, and I wear headphones a lot, so like I do it for my own safety. I don't want to get like hearing aids at the age of like 40. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, ads should always be like audio normalized.
Yeah,
lower
you're
than
just-
the content.
They
Yeah,
do that on
you're
purpose,
just
though.
watching or you're listening to like a calm, methodical, educational podcast while you're washing the dishes, and then Raid Shadow Legends just blurs in your fucking ear.
God, like
here to debunk fake game ads. Faker gaming.
Whoever came up with the idea of moving ads or ads with audio, I do not wish you a good life. I wish the worst things for you. I wish that your house just becomes Legos everywhere.
My recommendation for insults is may your socks always be wet, and may they always be halfway off your foot.
Yeah.
Ever since my YouTube Premium lapsed, I have not seen a bottom third banner ad.
Oh, really?
Like, did YouTube do away with those?
I think so.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
I mean, I don't see ads on YouTube because I use Brave Browser, and Brave Browser has automatic features already pre-installed that help deal with ads. I'm like
literally stealing free content. You should be ashamed of yourself. I'm not joking though. Seriously, what the fuck? This is why Rooster Teeth is getting shut down.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Motherfucker, no, it's not. My ad blockers don't fucking work on Rooster Teeth. We know this.
Also, Ryan, no, I'm not 40 years old. I said I don't want to get hearing aids by the time I'm 40.
Pro Kitty says, Yang blushing in episode 4 made me so uncomfortable that I was convinced she was going to bring up Blake for no reason. We'll get to that, I imagine. Is there anything special we want to talk about with Somewhat and Juniper other than...
There's nothing to say about
was the last thing in that, in that episode, was that supposed to be Neo returning?
We'll get there because I want to touch on the Prince, but then we'll get to that. The Red Prince, Critter was very accurate pointing out in her stream that the Red Prince is radically out of character here.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, his whole
Which is kind of a shame because I found the Red Prince annoying in the show, but that was the point. He was supposed to be a brat. And I would have rather seen the brat, honestly, rather than the same blasé, introspective ho-hum character that every single other character in RWBY is.
I would have liked to see him in the transitory part between this and what we had in the show. Like him still trying to hold up being a brat, and then like this lost a little being the thing that kind of knocks him over into this introspection type moment. That would have been much more fitting.
Actually see him.
At least he would still have way more personality to him. Yeah.
Don't first of all, don't speculate on my age, okay, please. Second of all,
oh my,
I was just very confused. It's like was it the blacksmith or something gave somewhat like leaves, and I'm like, oh, are you kind of transforming somewhat into the replacement for the cat or whatever? And then it just doesn't. Nothing really happens with it. It's just like a walking stick, pretty much a glorified walking stick.
Well, it gives him a stick, and then he gets leaves from the butterfly, and then he gives the leaves to our good buddy here, and our good buddy here, the prince, drops the leaves like he's not going to use them, and that just completely fucking muddies the water of the nature of the fucking ever after. It's like, all right, you guys.
Not to mention Ascension, like what?
Well, that's what I mean.
An Ascension supposed to now.
Yeah,
thematically speaking.
Because like you already have the waters completely muddied with. Okay, RWBY narrowly avoided what is considered unaliving herself in Minecraft.
Roblox.
But then you have Neo commit it, unaliving herself in Minecraft, and she succeeds. And it's considered a good thing. And you're like, okay, wait, what's the message here? And now we're like, well, ever afterans. Okay, the clear cut thing is it's good for the ever afterans. Like when they've served their purpose or whatever, they need to rebirth themselves into this new form. But now it's like maybe they don't need to do that. You're just convoluting your own lore even further.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
don't know why they do this. Why do you
change
do the
bringer.
things that you do?
No clarification, only more confusion, and let's focus on the parts that no one wanted to focus on to make them more confusing.
yeah, because I don't know a single person that wanted to go back to the ever after. I was fine with it as a detour, but I want to get back to the main story. I want to get back to things that have consequences.
Dude, I don't remember whose tweet I saw, but it was somebody, I think it was Vex, saying never go back to the ever after again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Vex.
You don't need to. Nothing can be gained from going back to the ever after, unless you're hilariously trapping Salem in there, as a
or
win.
using the freaking time machine that is in there that you could totally use.
To be fair, it's not a machine.
assholes.
It's technically a fruit. It's a clockwork orange.
No.
Did you guys not realize that? Someone pointed that out to me. It's a clockwork orange.
Fucking difference here.
God, it is. Oh man.
When I heard it, I was both
Right, I
angry and
forgot.
impressed. I was like, you know what? You earned that one, Rooster Teeth.
Yeah.
Damn
Yeah. You would think that like
we-
Neo would be the one to find it in that case, since it's like a Torchwick reference. But
Yeah.
no, it was Jaune, a guy who did he even meet Torchwick?
No, I don't
No.
think he did.
No.
Also, that's one thing that I never understood, because like Ruby is supposed to be about fairy tales and all this kind of stuff. A Clockwork Orange is not a fairy tale, nor is it for children.
Yeah,
Why
you
is it-
know who else
why is it a
a
reference?
fairy tale? The person that Coco is based off of. We left that
Yeah.
ship. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
You
mean,
know,
Torchwick
I
was in
think
the story
honestly,
before
if
Coco, so.
if they were just honest from the get-go, instead of being like, oh, it's all about themed on fairy tales, and instead we're just or like mythical figures or whatever, instead of just being like that, they were just like, yeah, no, it's just references to different, legendary characters and things throughout media. Like, we're just like, if they were just like very open about that, I don't think anyone would have as much of a problem.
Yeah, it's because in the problems step in when they try to tie it to the lore, like the whole color naming scheme.
Oh god, that
It's
was
just
so
like-
stupid.
yeah.
It's just like, penny. Yeah, the fucking U.S. currency. That's a reference that the people of fucking Remnant will understand.
Philip Schwartz says, ideally, Miles and Carey would... Oh, God, I just skipped ahead. God, okay. Miles and Carey would have brought in competent writers for RWBY, but considering RT's workplace culture, I think they would have quit. Their ego ruined them. I don't know, because I know Miles and Carey are both very sensitive. I just think that they're not very... they're not wise to good writing habits.
Yeah.
Also,
I mean, that's one of the things that they will just openly admit all the time. They're like, we learned how to write as we were writing. It's like, brothers, you had 10 years of practice. You could have gotten a little better at it.
Yeah.
Just a bit.
Twilight
I
entering
also
her
think,
RWBY
like,
mind place. Oh, it's great.
Not every
Yes.
writer can accurately handle every topic,
Yeah.
you know?
That's
maybe
honestly,
not start with
which is why
racial
you cut them
discrimination.
down.
That's
Voodoo.
there.
Torchwick is based off of Lampwick from Pinocchio, not Honest John.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The like, I think like the biggest like insult that I think the reason that Volume 7 is worse than Volume 5 is because they did bring in new writers that were more competent than Miles, at least. and they just completely dipped on the whole story of RWBY and made this new thing about like Robin and Clover and fucking Jacques. It's like it's like, oh, so you bring in new writers, you get some fresh blood, you get some more talented people with more experience, and then they just completely leave your story in the dust. It's like, go fuck
I thought
yourselves.
Eddie didn't. I thought I looked up like the other day. I don't know if Eddie worked on anything before this.
RWBY
Red versus
Chibi.
Blue. And yeah, RWBY Chibi, Red, and he was a
aside
writer
from
on
Red versus Blue.
On Red versus Blue. I mean, yeah, but
Okay.
that doesn't again, the bar for being more talented than Miles.
So okay.
Yeah. Oh, you got to be better than the guy who wrote RVB 13.
Well, okay, Batman, you say that, but RVB 0 exists.
Yeah, it's RVB 0. Like, that's like the definition of flash over substance, or yeah, like it's like, oh, look at all these cool fights, and then the story is like the most generic thing ever. Oh, my father sold me out to the fucking evil organization. No, I am your father. Oh no, I'm dying.
So
I don't even remember RVB 0. But I
Okay,
think
as
that
a
was
guy
it.
who has never seen, past like the first 5 episodes of Red versus Blue, that sounds like the funniest shit ever.
It isn't really.
I assure you, his mockery is funnier than the actual thing.
Yeah, it's a lot funnier.
So
it's still 13 is worse, but
so presuming
yeah, 0.
I'm so glad that I have never seen a single episode of Red versus Blue.
God, you gotta watch
I am
the
in
first 10
bliss.
seasons at least.
No,
It's a thing.
Refuse.
Like
Pay me.
I remember really loving it back at 2013, and now I'm like, I don't know if it would really hold up now. I don't know if I would still really love it.
I need to go back and watch the first 5 at some point, because I remember I adored those back in the day.
Yeah. The first one, the first one still completely holds up. And Volume 9 also.
You know,
and
a lot like
if you're-
Ruby. When it was like silly and goofy, it was really good. But once they started doing the serious drama, world-ending plot lines, it got real bad.
Yeah.
Dederex are Twilight. I'm not old.
Oh my god! Dederex. He is coming out swinging with these. He does not miss.
So
Lots of good
bit,
art this time.
a little bit of speculation stuff here. Presuming that RWBY continues, who the fuck is somewhat meeting here? My theory is it's Team RWBY, that they are bringing Salem here to some extent.
I can't even.
Oh, I mean, I just made that up as a meme.
Well, no, because like it can't be Neo.
People have
somewhat never met
as
Neo.
an option.
Somewhat never interacted at all with Neo. Neo had already jumped into the tree.
He stepped on him.
But no, as opposed to feeling
that's the
familiar.
reason he's somewhat now. or that's the reason they're somewhat now.
However this works, yeah. But no, it wasn't a, oh, you seem familiar. It was a, oh, it's you. You're back. It's like, it's a direct recognition. It's a, oh, I remember you from some point earlier. So I kind of suspect that it's RWBY coming through the portal.
I can't bring myself to care enough to theorize because this isn't canon. It's canon adjacent. I don't like it could be a million things. They could pull anything out of their ass at this point. And I'm like, they didn't tell us, so I'm not going to give them the satisfaction of caring. They can't just bait me into caring.
The only reason I care is I legit think that this is how they're planning to take care of Salem. I think they're going to shove Salem into the tree.
Get in there. Get in the tree. Go.
No, think about it. Think about it.
Dude,
how else
Korra
would you get rid of
two.
Salem? Knowing what we know about RWBY's setting right now, about Remnant and its creation lore and all that bullshit, I think that there's no other way to defeat Salem except to have her reincarnate.
But you can't make her. You can't force her to decide what she would reincarnate. What if she reincarnates into a dragon? but with Salem's head on it. Like, if she ascends, she decides what. Yeah, exactly. If she ascends, she decides what she turns into. Like, I feel like we did it. She's gonna ascend, and now things will be better. Then she ascends into something 1,000 times worse.
But what if they removes her immortality?
I mean, yeah,
and she's
but I
suddenly
guess
killable?
true.
Bring on, bring on Salem Maleficent, please.
That depends on. That depends on what even her motivation is at this point. Like, does she want to destroy the world, or does she just want to die? Like, I don't even know that.
Is she the
He wants to do both.
If she wants to forget, the tree is a good option.
Yeah. Is she the suicidal cupcake, or is she the I like trains boy? We'll find out. George J says,
"Oh my God, George J for $20."
Yeah. Hey gang, I've been working on the first prologue.
George J for $20.
It's been a tough fighting off the urge to make the first draft perfect, but I've been catching myself. Thanks for all the writing tips. Well, thanks. I'm happy to hear that.
No problem, dude.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm glad that we could all help you out.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. But yeah, fucking, what was it? I mean, that's the only option that I would really say that, like, and keep. Oh my God, I'm imagining it right now. I'm imagining like Ruby and Salem like both jumping through the portal, like she's just pushing her into the tree, and they're both in like the treescape and all that. And they're walking through both of each other's lives and having this talk no jutsu moment, and then she becomes human again, and Ruby gives her a hug, and the gods descend down, and just saying, "Are you united?" And Ruby
the gods
says,
come down and say,
yes.
"Are you a boy or a girl?" And then he gives you a Pokemon.
Yeah.
Oh no. It was just a whole elaborate setup for Pokemon Gen 10.
Yeah.
No.
Nintendo is buying Ruby. No.
No, wait. You know what? Let them cook. That might actually work.
Yeah, that might actually work. You know what? They should have. If they do that, they will do what Rooster Teeth probably should have done, which is make this a game.
Yeah, I was gonna say it depends
show.
what dev team they get for it. Is it the team that did Princess Peach Showtime? We might be in a little hot water here. Are we in the Mario Galaxy team? All right. The Zelda. Oh, Skyward Sword. What am I saying? Give it to the Skyward Sword team. Let's see what they do.
Wait,
you can't make a worse fucking.
yeah.
That's not Skyward
Either
Sword.
them.
I keep getting
like
Breath of the Wild and
Either
Skyward
them?
Sword mixed up. I don't know
About
why.
to say either them or the what was it, Kid Icarus Uprising team. I want to see what they can do with this.
Yeah. Get Hades in there roasting people.
Oh, Hades makes everything better, bro. He was the.
That's the only thing I know about that is I
ever.
know that Hades roasts the shit out of characters.
Yes.
And
Dude, okay, anybody who's like a voice actor in chat, make a freaking video where with voiced as Hades roasting each of the Ruby characters. Do it.
Hades roasting Salem for being a bad antagonist. So,
oh my God, that would be legendary.
Does James Woods have a cameo? Unless you're talking about a different Hades.
It's Hades from Kid Icarus Uprising. But you know what? I would be down for that too. Though, admittedly,
you know what? Yeah, that's an equivalent. Either one works.
Yeah, my only problem is that James Wood is getting up there. Like in Kingdom Hearts 3, you can hear it. You can freaking hear that he's starting to.
Oh yeah.
He's starting to get too old for the voice, which sucks because I love him. But like, at some point, man, it might just be beyond your ability to do. Like, you can tell they don't have James Earl Jones do Darth Vader anymore. They haven't had him do it since Rogue One.
Yeah.
As Darth Vader, well, I guess Hayden Christensen came back.
Yeah, well, yeah, he was in Obi-Wan, and they had the voice generation. And if you pay attention, he says everything in the exact same like cadence. It's the like if you really listen for it, you're like, oh yeah, no, that's a robot talking.
Yeah, that's like, oh god.
Kenobi was awful, by the way. I don't know if anyone needs to hear that. I hated that fucking show.
I have not seen I don't want to see it. Everything I hear about it is terrible.
I remember
like
when you were
it.
watching through it, and you were just complaining at me about it. It was great.
It's the reason.
I liked it.
I don't watch TV with my family anymore. because they get so angry at me being like, "Wait, that doesn't make any sense," and like being just confused. And then it's like, can you just not sit back and enjoy it? I'm like, it's a piece of shit. What do you want me to say?
It's the worst when you actually want to use your brain and engage with the show, but then it's bad, and then everyone else around you is just like, just turn off your brain, just enjoy it.
Dude,
my dad's like,
God,
wasn't it
that is
so
the worst
cool?
thing.
Wasn't it so cool when Vader's mask was half off? And like half off for like sale. No, it was like it was like cracked down
50% off, and then you get it. It's one of those like
and it's like
plastic AliExpress ones.
And they've done that several times before, and they will do that several times in the future now. That is such an image that has been abused to hell and back, and it's no longer cool. Pro Kitty says, I would love for Ruby to run up to Salem and bundle her in her semblance and drop her in a portal. Yeah, why can't Ruby do that? She just turns everything molecular, right?
Yeah.
Because the writers would have to think of that, and they wouldn't.
Thus negating her mass.
Oh my god, Ruby's swaddling Salem?
It becomes the ending of Madoka Magica, but it's Ruby and Salem.
So
I do not want to know.
Our very last of the Ruby Beyonds is Boba.
Oh boy.
Here we are.
And this one is
Boba.
This one just, I don't know why this one feels the dirtiest of all of them.
It does, yeah.
Because like there's
that is an apt
fine.
way of phrasing it.
It starts off fine where it's Yang and Ruby going out to have a day on the town and relax and just have some sisterly bonding time. And then it all goes downhill when Yang points that out. It's like, oh, it feels like we haven't been able to do the whole sisterly bonding thing in a while. And it's like, so what I knew immediately as I heard that, it's like, oh, so you're trying to address the fact that Yang was a shit sister through the last like 3 volumes.
It's of all the attempted band-aids the series is doing, this is the most obvious band-aid. It's like, see, they had an episode where they drank boba. See, they are good sisters.
I mean, look, I really wish that jaded Ruby would be the real Ruby. You know what I mean? like, cause like I said this back in like volume 4, back in when after volume 3, it's like, okay, no matter what way they decide to develop her, it would work.
3, yes.
And then they just didn't. And then they had her talk to Tyrion like, oh, I don't know. Happening, and then it's like, oh god. And then in this, when Yang is like, hey, you want to talk about it? And she's like, what? Talk about what, Yang? like fucking
like, I get it. Like, to an extent, I get it. Because, Ruby has never been all that good at, I guess, well, the show wants us to
Kaiser. Kaiser's having a bit of a glitch. His audio processing unit.
Hello, am I back? Am I back?
You're back.
Okay, I'm back. I don't know what. I think it was Discord.
I sent it to you. My problems, move it over to you. They'll go down the line.
Yes.
Oh no.
I have the ick. I have the streamer ick. Anyways. I get it that the idea is that the show wants us to believe that Ruby was never all that good at communicating her own turmoil or how it affects other people. So the idea that she isn't aware that, like, hey, I might want to talk about this as your sister, like, that could be a way of showing how far things have gotten, how bad things have gotten, that she doesn't even register it. That's fine. What I don't think is fine I don't know.
Okay, so let me put it in my words. It feels like this short, even though it's trying to do the band-aid that Yang is a good sister, it's putting all of the weight on Ruby's shoulders.
It really is.
It's like when you have a problem, let us know. When you have a problem, it's not putting any of the responsibility on. I didn't notice. Like she says that once, I want to say in there, which I will give credit to.
Yeah, exactly.
But she doesn't elaborate on that, and everything afterwards is Ruby, you got to do this. Ruby, you got to do that. Ruby, you got to.
Well, there's a reason. Well, there's a reason. Well, Raymond, let me tell you, there's a reason why she didn't elaborate on that. Because there would be they know that there would be no reason for her not to notice. Yang has been all about being the most freaking emotionally aware person in the group, and everybody needs to tell her everything. And then Ruby was not even hiding the fact that she was going through some shit in Volume 9. So the fact that Yang never addressed it during that time, that's on her. There is literally no reason for her not to. But the
her body language was very
clear. It becomes a problem.
Her body language was very clear in that. Like Yang in this, it kind of almost feels like she just stopped before she could say, "It's your fault that we didn't take notice of you. It's your fault that you drank the tea.
You need to tell us." Okay.
Yeah, also, let us not forget to highlight the fact that when they're talking about this, she brought her to a place that serves fucking tea. Like, you know that thing you almost deleted yourself from existence with?
That's a bad look, That's so like me. That's like me.
It's like someone
is Ruby like, "Hey Yang, I want to take you to a cool store," and it's selling gloves.
It's like you have someone that was in the hospital because they cut, and then you say, "Hey, let's have a fun day going shopping." Takes them to a knife store.
It's so scummy because putting it all on Ruby's shoulders was literally the thing that was the thing that made Ruby so pissed off she snapped at them in the first place. Why is it always on me?
I'm not gonna pretend like the idea that, them discussing Ruby being able to express herself, like there is something there. I'm gonna try and play not devil's advocate, but a little bit of defense at the very least. There is something there with like, hey, if you're feeling like this, speak up, let us know. Like that's always a good message to send. The problem is that shouldn't have been a problem when this was an issue. It was very obvious that Ruby was having a very rough fucking time, and you were over there making out with your new girlfriend.
Exactly. Like, and it doesn't even make it. Like I said, it doesn't even make any sense because now we have like Ruby having this code word for when she is feeling down or doesn't seem to handle it, but doesn't know how to express it. But what about all the other characters? Like, what does that say about them and how well they communicate with each other? And by the way, this whole thing about, oh, we can't be the Team Ruby that will rely so much on you to lead us. Bitch, it was that way because none of you motherfuckers ever bothered doing anything.
Here's another slight defense is I think once or twice in Volume 9, Yang did actually momentarily try to reach out to Ruby. I can give a little bit of token defense there, but she never pushed forward. Typically, they were moved along in the plot or something like that, and Yang never made an effort to say, "No, wait, stop, Ruby. Are you okay?" Like there was no effort made beyond just the token. Are you okay? Oh, okay, we'll go.
Yeah, I don't think any of us would have a problem if Yang continuously tried to get Ruby to talk to her, but things just got in the way, or Ruby refused to talk because she didn't feel like she should, because she felt like the responsibility of being the leader meant that she shouldn't show weakness. That would have been fine. That would have solved all of our problems related to Yang in terms of Volume 9.
There was a super chat we missed a little bit back.
I've been sitting on it. Wandering Sorceress says, have you guys heard of Stray Gods, the role-playing musical? All-star cast, really good music, a lot of topics Ruby does wrong but actually good. Not perfect, but amazing overall. I've never heard of it.
I'll add that to the list.
It's really good. It's very railroady though, which is one thing I didn't like about it. Like my first playthrough, I was all like set to, call it game of the year. But that was before Baldur's Gate 3 came out, obviously. But like on my second playthrough, I realized just how railroady it was, and it was like, oh, so you can't actually fail, and the only thing you're really selecting is the genre of song that you're going for.
I do. It's something that you just kind of triggered, and I don't mind tangenting a little bit to keep this going. One thing that I've really thought about role-playing games that they've really failed to do is actually integrate failure states into their narratives.
Yeah.
If you lose a fight in an RPG, what typically happens? Well, you die and it's game over. But what if when you lose a fight, you black out and someone has fucking mugged you of all your shit, and now you just got to continue from that point without all your shit? Like,
is that how? Isn't that how
I know.
Lisa the Painful
an
works?
RPG that does that. Yeah, I was about to say that's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that one. But like
Otome games kind of work like that, where you have branches.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
no,
some of them
I'm
can.
Inspired by it because like I know in a lot of dating visual novels, if you just misclick or you make the wrong choice, you have to live with it, or else you can revert back to a previous save. Like you can cheese it, but I mean, I think if you design the game well enough, like with an autosave feature, you could just nail people into, you chose this, you got to live with it, or you're gonna have to restart from the very beginning.
I do want to make an Otome game at some point. I actually thought that it would be really fun to tie an Otome game to Cadence of Magic, or just a dating sim in general, since a lot of my characters are both like they're very varied, so I could do not just an Otome game, but I would start with that.
Deadrex pointed out that Pokemon actually operates on that principle. You don't technically die, when you lose a fight, you lose a bit of money, and then you go back to the Pokemon Center.
But does the story ever change?
No, the story doesn't change.
Yeah, like, see, that's what I want.
It's better than the other. There's a mechanical consequence, but it's not a game over. That's what I appreciate about it. But you're right that it shouldn't. Yeah,
when you lose your money, it only really heavily affects you at the beginning of the game. If you lose a game, if you lose a battle during the middle or towards the end of the game, then it doesn't really affect you all that much. It's like, oh no, I lost a quarter.
And also, it annoys me when I do a thing.
On the other hand,
like I fight a gym leader and then I lose, the money. But then I go and I fight the gym leader and they act like I'm meeting them for the first time again. And I'm like, we can't both do this. I can't lose the money and not know you.
No, see, like I want to lose a battle to a gym leader, and then like walk up, hand them my own badge, and then they have to go to the next town. Congratulations. You beat the wandering gym leader.
Now that I finished Dark Souls 1, I now understand how painful certain consequences in games can be. Not narratively speaking, but in terms of just how much you lose, because in that game, it can be very brutal in terms of like just taking the amount of money you have or certain status effects. There's even like a curse status effect in that game.
Oh god, curse in Dark Souls is awful.
That curse is crazy.
It halves your permanent health
is that it halves your
How do you even?
And you can't become human.
The first time I got cursed, it was like. It was almost like a hard reset, because like I wasn't in a position to get any of those like curse breaking stones, and I had to like trade with Snuggly to get one. Like
I got cursed for the first time at Seath. When did you guys get cursed?
It has to be those bastards down in the sewers. The little
I know the Basilisk, right?
Yeah. But like now
I saw those things for the first time during my first playthrough. They were fucking terrifying. You see these lizard toad looking things with freaking bug eyes and shit.
And the creepiest part is those aren't their eyes.
They're just leaping around spewing this gas at you.
You know that, right? Those aren't their eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, but
to quickly finish my point though, because what I was saying with I wanted to make a companion like dating sim game for Cadence of Magic when the book came out. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to have like actual gameplay elements, like maybe you could have a system where you build your own farm and stuff like that in order to get ingredients and stuff like that, while also going around interacting with the other characters and building relationships with them. But you have a lot of different branches and you don't know, like, most of the branches will lead to a bad end, but it might take a while for you to get to that bad end, and you just don't know until you reach it, or you reach the actual good end of it. And those, those might lead to even worse endings than what you were going to get anyway.
It'd be a real dick move if like romancing certain characters just automatically led to the bad end. Like,
oh, yeah.
That would like I've been like meditating on when it comes down to like dating sims and the like. You typically have a very narrow path to romancing characters. I would like it if like you had 2 or 3 variations on it where you could approach it from different like dynamics. So you get a little more variety in there. Like, you know, in one dynamic, maybe you've got a tsundere type archetype going on for your character, or maybe you've got a you know dandere, or you've got like a complete straight man or something like that. You've got all these different options.
Wait a second, you can romance a straight man in these games? I don't think so.
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for him to catch that. I knew he was gonna catch that.
They're not. There's someone who's not MC sexual. That was one thing Dragon Age 2 did really well. I mean, like, you know, most of the characters were MC sexual, but there was one character in the DLC for Dragon Age 2 that was very just explicitly a straight guy who would only romance you if you were a human woman. And it was like what?
Oh, it'd be great if there was a character that just was not interested at all in romance, and you just kept like, you had the option, like you could obviously have the, oh, I'm interested in you, well, I'm not interested in you back, and you could like leave it at that, but you could theoretically just keep pestering them, and like if you just kept on doing it, they would leave the crew.
There was actually in Dragon Age 2, which one? I don't remember her name. The Night Lady. Like, you have like a whole arc where you have to set her up on a date with this other guy, this loser schmuck, and it's like you can flirt with her all the way through the game, and she'll just politely be like, "Oh, you're funny." Anyway, my loser schmuck.
There was the same character in or not the same character. The same, you know, like thing where it wasn't one of the romanceable NPCs, but you could still pick all the flirting options with her. And I was like, I will wear her down.
God, I love Dragon Age 2. It's so good.
Oh, all right. So we've detoured long enough, and
I mean, we finished talking about episode 4, unless there's another one.
There's more to talk about in episode 4 because there's larger lore implications.
Still put us back on track.
Yeah.
For real though, if I was RWBY and like, you know, the reason that I tried to kill myself was like, hey, do you want to talk about it? I'd be like,
I just mean like,
whatever could you mean?
Can you have like RWBY just turn around and be like, well, it's your fault to begin with, so
it's just like no, Yang, I don't want to ease your conscience.
Well, Yang, here are 13 reasons. Dragon of Dragons says, what are your guys' thoughts on Messiah RWBY? I will leave that question to you guys. I will be right back.
Did you say Messiah RWBY? Okay. Are they doing a Dune Messiah RWBY crossover? What?
They're doing like RWBY Superstar Jesus thing, where her message to the world.
No, all of these people should be freaking putting her up on a friggin' cross and burning her, because for all they know, she put them in this situation. Like, what?
There's this little scene where like a crowd of people stop them, refugees, I'm assuming, and they're like, "OMG, Ruby, your message," and she's like, "Hey, hi, it's me." Hey.
Yeah, why only? And why only Ruby? Like, don't they know about all of the team?
Well, no, she was the one who was on the video. Yeah, nobody cares about the behind-the-camera talent. That's some real meta commentary about Rooster Teeth. Oh, yeah. Oh, look, it's Ruby. It's the one on camera. And Yang is like, I was holding the camera. And Blake is like, I wrote the script with the hey, guys, is this thing on included?
No, they're like,
look, his house. You know, we did in our house.
They're like, look, it's Ruby.
Yeah, Weiss is like, I was the set designer on that video. Where's my adoring fan?
They're all like, look, it's Ruby, our savior, her message. And then Yang's like, I'm here too. And they're like, aren't you the one that broke that kid's leg during the tournament?
Yeah, I really want people to remember that.
Batman, stop trying to make that happen outside of fixing Ruby. No one remembers that.
No one remembers it.
But yeah, no, they keep trying to make Ruby this messiah figure, and it's just so like, you united the world, Ruby. It's like, no, she didn't. She actively created chaos and panic. Like, remember the animatic? Yeah. Look how united everyone is. You have people throwing rocks at orphans. Did we forget about that?
Yes.
Apparently, yeah. Yeah, and that's what's gonna that's exactly what's gonna happen with the fact that Jaune is an old man in a teen's body. There you go. That's your proof right there.
Yeah. It's ultimately it's just like what I hate that Rooster Teeth thinks that somehow that message was in any way empowering. It wasn't. It was just a, by the way, we have an immortal lady we need to kill, but we can't because she's immortal. And also, the only guy that leads the largest military in the world that could possibly like fend off her forces, yeah, he's also kind of a dick. Don't trust him. But also send help.
Send help.
Like if I watch that, I'd be like, I don't know what to feel. Don't trust anyone. Got it. All right.
Yeah, remember her message.
Build an army.
Like, are we gonna have a specific part of the message? Is it like, don't panic? Is that the message we're gonna remember?
Well, the twist reveal is that nobody knew how to not panic until Ruby told people to chill the fuck out.
Hey, take a chill pill, guys. And I was like, oh.
Or take a chill slip. It's like a chill pill, but it dissolves in your tongue. Oh, God.
It's there and it's gone, just like a lot of things in this show. Jesus.
It's so... God, and now I'm looking at the whole Boba thing, and it's like... So they mentioned that this place was from Patch, and they packed up and moved out here during the evacuation of Vale, I guess. So I guess Patch is gone too. Sokar Cam says, Arcane dunks on Ruby so hard it's not even funny. Dude, does it count as dunking when, just stepping forward would crush it? Like,
yeah, exactly. Like you're talking about an elephant crushing an ant. Like that's a walk. That's a casual stroll.
But the Boba thing.
News
I'm
would have been funny if Ruby did the message on Remnants equal April Fool's Day. Oh my god.
Oh. But okay, so the Boba thing. Does anyone, because I know Jay had an issue when we watched this, is that he felt it was anachronistic to the setting of Ruby. And maybe we pointed out that everything's anachronistic to the setting of Ruby, but it does feel fucking weird that it's never come up that they were really into Boba. Because it was invented specifically for this fucking short.
Like, if they could have gone to like a cookie parlor. They could have done anything, really.
And they could have had Boba. They could have had Boba at the cookie parlor, so you could have a character be like, "Oh man, or maybe you have it be Bubba Bubba Boba, but you have it be mentioned like, oh man, the cookies here are so great, like because you have shops like that specialize in one thing, but they typically have a secondary product that are also very good. That happens. So the idea that Ruby being excited for the cookies and then you have them drinking boba or whatever and just bonding over it, like there are ways to get it in there without it coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's so like not important in the long run. The continuity of Ruby liking Boba is so important. It's not important in the long run, but it's one of those things that's like kind of weird.
Yeah, it's not like a big. It's just an irritation. It's not a big, world-breaking problem that Boba exists and has this entire time. And in the entire 10 years of this show, we haven't heard them say hide nor hair about it. It's just kind of annoying. It's like you guys just added this onto the characters retroactively. That's what it feels like, and it's another one of those if we can see what you're trying to do type deals.
DX 321.
I mean, it's damn if you do, damn if you don't. They should have done something like this much, much earlier, and that would have solved all of these problems, but they didn't.
DX 321 suggests a normal tea shop. And I think that would be even more insensitive around the ideas of Ruby drinking tea. But I do think maybe, because it's like currently a city filled with refugees in crisis, if perhaps they're like, let's go out and have a fun time. And they're like, there's nothing to do. What do we do? And the only thing they find is a tea shop. And they're like, well, is that something you're comfortable with, Ruby? And then that would be like the thing that sparks the conversation to happen.
What would have been nice? What if Ruby was the one that instigated this episode? What if she was the one that was like, let's go out to a tea shop, and she brings Yang there, and Yang's like, are you not uncomfortable about this? And Ruby's like, no, I'm fine with it. It's like, I get everything that went down, and like then they have the heartfelt discussion, and then then you have Yang on the back foot being like, I've never known how to talk to you about this. It's really awkward, and like I tried in the Ever After, but I didn't try hard enough. And like Yang taking the blame onto herself and being very selfless about it in like the way that like I should have done more for you, that could have gone miles towards smoothing over, because the way that you fix a problem in your writing is not to try and erase the problem. It's to try and actually admit there was a problem and then address it in a mature way where you own up to the mistake and then move forward with it with the characters reacting. So the idea of
lean
into the failure. It's Linkara actually says this about a lot of things. It's the reason he doesn't hate really bad. He does hate things, but like he doesn't hate a lot of really bad comics because oftentimes you then get a good writer coming in and making something from that. You can actually do something interesting that is born from a really bad idea, and I find that interesting as a concept.
Yeah.
I mean, in the case of comic books, that's kind of how you have to do it. Those are the cards you're dealt. So and that makes sense.
I ain't for that shit. I ain't patient enough for comic books.
Fuck that.
Scarlet Phoenix says, what do you guys think are the chances that V10 will be good? Oh, about as good as V9 had.
Yeah, like I can hope all I want, but like V9 was the exception. Like but like, okay, I know a lot of people don't agree with this, but I think Volume 8 was also pretty good. So like there is an upward trend, but you could have also said the same thing from 2, 3, and 4, and then we got 5.
Hope in the Intersize,
like, I don't know, man,
says they could have gone to the banana stand that we see here in the in the very first episode.
Yeah, it's weird how noticeable the banana stand is for no one to interact with it at all.
Just being there.
We'll actually get, because like that leads into a major problem with how Vacuo is portrayed in these shorts.
In the banana stand.
Izanagi says on the Boba topic, so they have a version of Taiwan that exists, enough resources to grow tapioca and black tea, feed dairy cows and create fruit syrups, all while Vacuo is the only region not in chaos with limited supplies. God damn it. Yep.
And also, thank you for
somebody.
I guess.
They got cow faunuses.
Oh,
Oh,
no!
No! Bad Batman.
Oh my
bad.
God, Deterix. Ruby has been.
Yeah.
Why?
Ruby has
That's cute.
Oh. Yeah, no, I'm glad I opened the
can of
this is
worms.
the
So
can of worms.
So yeah, but branching off from the Boba thing, this does not seem like a world in chaos to me that it rightfully should have been. Remember,
No.
things are so bad,
No, it doesn't.
they were throwing rocks at orphans.
At orphans.
Like you don't do that unless you are legitimately being pushed to your limit. And I don't see that. This is like a wide open area. It's not very. It's about as crowded as fucking Menagerie on a busy
crowded.
day.
Yeah.
There aren't any like miserable like homeless people on the streets or everything struggling for food.
Boba is so empty. It's probably going to go out of business. I don't even know if they still have cash currency.
No, see that's what everybody's doing. Everybody's on the Boba payroll to throw rocks at all the orphans who can't afford.
There's two vacuums just throwing rocks at orphans, and they're like, "We don't need more orphans." And they're like, "Wait a minute, is that a Boba guy? You get over here."
And then like they got this like arm full of rocks, like the "I can't hold all these limes" meme, and it's like they go up to Ruby, and it's just like, "Are your parents alive?" And she's like, "One of them, I think."
Oh God,
So you only get one rock thrown at you instead of 5.
That segues right into the next point. They mentioned Ty. They actually bring him up, and that he's on a fucking mission doing something. And it's like they're like, why is? What did they say exactly? Is it like, why isn't he doing something important or?
Yeah, what they said that
like throwing rocks at orphans.
Secret? Isn't there a more important job than this? Is there really a more important job than this, like being in Vacuo right now?
Yeah, I imagine everyone ever. 2, presumably 3 maidens are sitting in Vacuo, and also 90% of.
Critter.
No,
it's just me. Critter
stays somewhere else to help with stuff.
Critter, you cut out.
You cut out.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I think it's my mic.
We can now.
Yeah, just like one normal huntsman to help normal people with their normal civilian things instead of the Salem stuff. Yeah. And it's weird that it's Ty, but it's not out of the question.
Yeah, I know Crow said he's on assignment, but what's more important than here? Maybe we don't have the full picture. You fucking think? Maybe he needs to recover shit from other places that have already fallen. Like,
he's got to warm up the gun a little.
Although I will say, the fact that this is like a secret job and they don't even tell them where he's going, like, I thought secrets was a bad thing to these people.
Yeah. Why aren't Ruby and Yang better informed?
Only the current volume is canon.
Yeah.
Like, they forgot about volume 6.
Ruby, all of Team Ruby should be 100% in the know. 100%.
Yeah.
Like, they have been directly at the epicenter of major world events and have been key players in all of it, even though they are not the main characters in their own show. It's who sent Ty on missions? That's a good question. Who's sending him? Is it Theodore, I guess? Is Theodore the last living, like, authority figure now?
Is it Oscar?
Who? Does Mistral's council play into any of this? Do they still fucking exist?
I don't know.
We don't know anything. We have no establishment on this, and it feels like a mess.
It is. It's a huge fucking mess.
Oh. And then at the very end,
items for the day.
At the very end, they say you still promised to go shopping like weeks ago. When's that happening? They have been back in the real world for weeks. Weeks have passed. What the fuck?
Salem, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, it kind of goes back to this whole thing of the idea where it's like, oh, but they need breaks after everything that they've been through. And it's like, okay, so you're basically saying like, we worked for 1 hour, now we need to rest for 25 minutes. We did one thing and now we need a break. We do another thing and now we have to have a break. How many breaks do these girls need?
But I was gonna say, like,
what the fuck?
In My Hero, one of my chief complaints is that they rush the transitory arc between the Jakku fight and the vigilante Deku, or the Dark Hero Deku arc. Like, there's a period of time where it's actually kind of nebulous when you actually look into the math of it, but it feels very short because of how they spaced everything out, and we don't get to see a lot of introspection during that time. It's rushed. Even then, it makes sense because the villains are operating on a really fucking fast timeline, and the heroes are struggling to catch up the entire time. And knowing what I know now, even though there are issues I disagree with and you could modify as an author, given the time constraints that were placed on the characters, it feels rushed for a reason. Team RWBY should be feeling pretty rushed because Salem is on the cusp of winning permanently.
Yeah, it's
shocking. Yeah, I guess in that sense, it's more sense contextually than how it is here. I will give it that. I will hate that art with every fiber of my fucking being, though.
Wait, what art?
It's really writing when you focus so much on getting from point A to point B that you don't focus on like what goes in between there.
Oh,
like there's so much that goes into writing, like everything that goes into different plot points. But if you only focus on getting to the plot points themselves, you don't focus on the journey to get there, then that's when you get RWBY writing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
100%.
Pretty much.
And then half the time you're also trying to fix things that happened
storytelling at its finest.
It really is.
Yes.
It's like you're writing on the level of a 7-year-old child.
I wouldn't go that far, but I get your point. It's emphatic. I get it.
Yeah, me neither.
Well, that is the end.
I would never put an age onto it because people start writing at different ages. But I would say amateurish. Like, it's something I realized when there was like an assignment in like 4th grade to write a story, I was like, why is my story bad? And I was like, oh, because. And then I realized the thing you're saying, that needs to be things between points A and B. So amateurish is what I would say.
No,
they've been writing for 10 years.
What I meant was like how children tell stories verbally to like somebody else or to their parents. That is what I meant.
And then
when you're a
we
little
went
kid,
into the store, and then I saw a dog, and then there was cookies, and then we went to the other store.
Yeah.
I mean,
also
kids...
new Chronosphere art.
What happened? What?
New Chronosphere art.
Chronosphere
art. Oh, cool.
But yeah, this is
little kid writing is very much like set piece first writing.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like you come up with a thing and then you don't consider it, it's not part of the story.
Yes.
You just add like token story-esque elements to the set piece. And that's how you end up with Mary Sue's.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Pretty much.
Yeah. What are the themes? The what?
One of them things.
Themes in RWBY?
No, guys,
says.
It's not themes. It's Thames, the River Thames. Get it right.
Oh! So they fancy themselves the Bard upon Avon. Got it.
Yeah.
Oscar Borges says, I have to go. Great stream. As for RWBY, I want to get a reboot and not have RWBY continue at all. I believe they're lying. What they say makes no sense. The Beyond feels bait for hype and have people market it. Part 1.
Oh,
All right,
Oh,
thanks,
yeah.
Oscar. Also,
Yeah.
this goes into something that I was planning on saying. Oh, go ahead. You say your thing, Twilight, first.
Oh,
I'll say my thing after.
just related to that, I remember seeing Pancakes ask what we would rather see, a complete reboot or volume 10.
Volume 10.
Volume 10.
Yeah,
I think,
volume
yeah,
10.
I think
I
that
don't-
was like a question a while ago, but yeah, volume
Yeah.
10.
Yeah, I think that
Here's
was-
what I think might
Yeah.
happen.
We want the
Or
story
actually,
to actually
maybe not
end,
me, but
and then we like.
yes.
I would want it to end, and then I want a new team to pick it up and get a reboot. I would prefer
Like-
Mhm.
that.
Oh, so you
That-
want your
like,
cake
I mean,
and eat it
I-
too?
was talking.
Want to know
Oh,
what Harry
I
we're thinking the whole time. Like that's
Pretty
where
much.
my investment lies. I need to see
Yeah.
how these guys who have no idea how to tell a story finish one. the rest of it doesn't
Like,
fucking
I-
matter
I-
to me. Like, oh,
See,
Yeah, like I have a friend of mine like had a theory like around the other day, and we were talking about this, and he came to the same conclusion, but he was a lot more gruffer about it than I was, because he was all like, okay, whoever picks up this show, they're going to make volume 10, but after that, if the show bombs, if volume 10 bombs, they're gonna kick the writers out, and they're going to reboot the goddamn thing.
yeah. See, I'm kind of the opposite.
Which is a
opinion.
very
I don't
cynical way of looking at it.
yeah.
I don't really care about volume 10. Like, I know a lot of people do. Like, if I
Right.
had the option between having volume 10 and finishing a shitty story, or guaranteeing a reboot that is going to be told a lot better, I'm gonna go with the reboot.
That's one of the things that I was talking to
Well-
Cal about back when I was, tweeting at Eddie about ending the show.
Right.
And I was trying to understand why she thought ending the story would reduce its value. Like the RWBY fans.
Oh, I remember
don't,
that whole conversation.
Yeah,
I remember that.
RWBY fans don't know what they're fucking talking about most of the time. It's like, yeah, what? Okay, so there wasn't perceived value for the people who already own the IP to continue it. What is the perceived value for someone to buy it? It's crazy. Like, especially if you think ending it will reduce that value even further.
If you end it, you have an idea of where the story ended. You now have a complete package that can easily be sold and be like, okay, we have a beginning, a middle, and end. Arguably, we just have a beginning and then an end, and then there's something there in between, but we're not sure what it is.
Everything else.
Can I
But
D-Space just
the-
got
the-
here? Can he
the
get
thing-
a quick review of the episodes? The first one is a kind of cringe.
Not good.
The second one is like pure bait for continuation of the Jaune arc. The third one is pure bait for speculation about who shows up at the end, and the fourth one is really unintentionally hilarious when you think of the fact that Yang took Ruby to a fucking tea shop when tea was the implement of her suicide in the last volume in Minecraft. Yeah, so
You wanna-
basically, Yang's an insensitive bitch, and
Yeah.
Sun and Neptune are goofballs. That's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, maybe we should start like taking a step back and talk about the meta of these 4 episodes, where there was recently an artist that I
Yeah.
actually follow and
Yeah.
quite like.
I was actually just about to say, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I'm going to try and pull it up because Kaiser, you did post it into the Discord, right?
I believe
I think you did disable
did.
for posterity.
Or the archives.
So if I
this
did
thing?
this,
Right. Oh yeah, that thing.
TJ.
Yeah, this has been a thing and a half these past 2
The pettiest
days.
shit. The like salt. You can smell it in the air. You can taste it.
Yeah,
It's so fucking hilarious.
To run
guys.
through this, there is a 4-panel comic, and before we get started on this, do not bother this person.
Do not harass this
them.
guy.
Do not even go
Please.
interact with them. All right, we're talking about this on commentary. I don't want to bother anyone. All right, we're not gonna honestly dive to what they want to do to us.
My thing is this: if you're gonna say that this whole thing isn't very good or is problematic in a lot of ways, as we'll soon find out, fine. But no doxing, no excessive trolling, nothing below the belt. Keep your hands clean, please.
Oh, Oscar Borges II came through. With what Ruby did to RWBY and the fans is insulting, and with how
sweet.
Volume 9, the movies and etc. is unforgivable, and them pandering to people who don't care doesn't help. Does help. It's best to reboot and try to salvage it. Yeah, I get that mentality. I don't quite agree with it, but I get it.
I get it.
But yeah, so there's this artist that I appreciate, that I like, that made this comic where you have a random guy that's a critic that's saying Yang Xiaolong is a bad sister. Bruh, I said what I said. And then, if it'll load, you get an action sequence of BAM! And he's like, he tries to elaborate. I personally think that that is your time to shut the hell up.
Yeah.
Says Blake, who is now strangulating the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. oh, guys! If you call it gagging, it's not gagging because it's covering the mouth. Yes, somebody was arguing with me about this.
Someone argued whether or not
hilarious.
that was gagging.
Gagging.
If someone prevents you from speaking by
And
forcibly
the
shutting
guy
you
that was with me.
Yeah, technically a gag is something that forces the mouth open, not closed. A muzzle is something that forces the mouth closed.
That's fair, actually. It's a muzzle.
Of course, the animal girl knows all about muzzles.
Oh my god!
And so they say
she's got the little heart-shaped bondage gag. And the guy's like, "Oh God, where's this been?"
So what it says here is judging is
Rule
easy.
34.
Choosing which to believe and turn a blind eye on other things is easy. Though misjudge a person just because you couldn't understand the nuance in relationship is your problem. Not everything is black and white. So they're like,
Good.
it's much more fucking nuanced.
They restrain an innocent person for just thinking that their relationship isn't well written, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
The problem that makes it a bad relationship, though, is that there is no idea that this was all done on purpose. There is no elaboration on it, so it is basically just black and white, and you're making the assumption that because it exists, that it has to be more nuanced.
Was it you, Critter, that said that this Boba short would not exist were it not for the critics of the relationship in Volume 9?
So we are
because it's so reactionary, and clearly, like everything about the the RWBY Beyond episodes is all so reactionary. That's clearly what this is written for, to band-aid it.
What was reactionary about the third one?
I feel like it was everyone being like, Team RWBY just rampaged their way through the Ever After. And then we see little, or rather somewhat, going around, and everyone's like, no, we're all doing fine and dandy. We're all super happy now.
All right.
Yeah.
You
missed that part. Remember, that was the part before Fat Man came in, I think.
Yes. How late was I, by the way? It was like
5 minutes at most.
Yeah, okay.
Not even that.
That's what I figured.
So this last panel is, thanks Yang for letting me know that I'm heard, immensely. Thanks for letting me know that I'm heard and acknowledged of my own struggles, that I'm not alone. For Boba. And it's like,
that didn't happen.
Yeah,
that's not what happened. That's not the subtext of that shirt.
This is what happens: is the fandom will headcanon their shit in, and then they will get violently defensive of it because they have headcanon shit in,
without.
And then they're gonna turn to you when you point out that this is a problem and say that, oh, it's not a big deal. It's like, what?
Yeah,
Dude,
also, like,
these be the first motherfuckers. If any of us, if Fat Man, if especially Fat Man, if Critter, if Vexed, if I made something like this towards the RWBY fans of this show, and I did them the similar way, they would be the first motherfuckers to call
let
this
us not
shit out.
remember. Let us not forget. This is not an unfamiliar trend either, because one of the first stories that we heard about Yang and Ruby's childhood is Yang taking her sister on a wild goose chase to go find Raven in the middle of the woods and almost getting both of them eaten by a Grim.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, here's an interesting thing. I have a short story available now on Amazon called A Winter Retreat. And the story itself is about two sisters who have run away from home for a couple of days. They want an adventure of their own. And it's treated very much as a positive experience until everything goes wrong and you learn that the older of the sisters brought her younger sister there into what is effectively the middle of a drug deal. Because the older sister is old enough to have gotten narcotics, and she wanted her fix.
I'm babysitting. It would be irresponsible to leave my little sister unattended.
I in no way try to make this out to be a positive thing. I in no way try to make this an endearing, long-lasting memory. Both characters are horribly traumatized by the end. One of which brutally physically traumatized.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yang being a
God,
bad
I remember
sister
reading that one.
is not bad writing.
No.
No, it was like volume 9 was the best one, unintentional or not. Like the fact that Yang is a bad sister isn't like it's not like, ooh, it's so bad. She should have been better. It's like, no, like we
like on the laundry list.
On
the laundry list of things that are wrong with volume 9, if not the show, that's like really low on that list.
Yeah. It's like, remember, because you were talking about go ahead.
Sorry, yeah. The point isn't that she is a bad character and that she shouldn't be a bad character. The point should be, it's like the show should acknowledge that she is a flawed character and then work to rectify that through the writing.
Yeah,
and it literally does in the Boba episode. Like Yang admits, she's like, I realize I fucked up. I was bad, and like to completely miss that whole confession from Yang in the Boba episode, and to make this whole comic to be like, see, they're bestest friends forever because Boba, and it's like you didn't pay attention, I don't think.
No, you really didn't.
Because
what really makes me just not, what rubs me the wrong way about this thing is that I feel like that because of this is part of a running trend that I see, where this is all a part. Remember, okay? Shit like this is why you, Raymond, Fat Man, you, Critter, Vexed, Cal, and every major critic or online personality for RWBY came together in one video to collectively tell everyone on both sides to calm the fuck down. It's because of shit like this.
Yeah.
It causes derision in the fandom because it perpetuates an idea that it's an us versus them mentality. Like, how ironic it is that this whole thing is called Black and White, and they have the fucking gall to silence, to say that we need a different perspective, because let's be honest, who are the only people that say Yang is a bad sister? The critics. All right, that we need a different perspective at the same time, in the same queef that they silence this straw man.
Did you need to use that word?
What the fuck?
Yes, obviously. What are you criticizing his diction there?
Oh my god, Deterex, I can't show that on stream.
Oh my god.
Oh lord, no!
What is it? What is it?
Is it a cow? I'm willing to bet it's a
Salem
cow.
taking so long to get the vacuum, and she's like, what to wear for the end of the world? You get a whole. You get to see some Boba in this image.
The Yang B
Oh my God,
picture
look at
was
the
one
size.
thing. This is something else.
Look at the size of those things.
I love that she's holding up one of those fucking slingshot swimsuits.
She just shows more and more cleavage, and everyone's like,
Each volume.
"Do you want to talk about something, Salem? Is there something going on?"
Okay, legitimately, if she just walked around fucking naked, it would be more intimidating than some of her clothing.
Oh, like like she pulls a Dio from JoJo's Bizarre
Like,
Adventure.
I was gonna say, arguing just from logical, you are thousands of years old. You don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah,
why
why you give a
would you?
fuck
You
about
can't
it?
die. There's no reason to just
Who's gonna judge you?
who's gonna
What
judge
does
you?
an
You can just
immortal
obliterate
witch
them.
who wants the
And then who's
destruction
gonna
of all life on
survive
Earth
judging?
you or need with modesty?
Oscar Borgia with $10. Last one also just to give people who care like Ice Queendom, or someone that, or like Ice Queen or someone that cares and don't pander to people like the shippers. Look at BB and etc. And also what they did to Yang is beyond terrible. Oscar buddy, look, is the Bumblebee in the room right now?
Lord.
Is the Bumblebee in the room right now? But yeah, no, it's. I remember back in the day when the critics, quote unquote, was like me, Fat Man, I think was it Vex and like Hero Hay,
Yeah, Vex.
whatever mileage you get out of him. And I remember when like Kallaxon was a member of the accepted good critics, quote unquote, or whatever you want to call them, like.
One of the good ones, yeah.
I don't know how the fandom handles Arnold, because they know that Arnold and her are dating. Like they know that are they maybe I mean I have not kept up. Are they engaged or are they just like really deep in dating right now?
I don't remember.
You think they're just dating?
Okay, all right. I sometimes gaslight myself into things. So I thought maybe like I remembered that. Maybe I hadn't. But regardless, like how do they square that? Because Arnold has been nothing but like the most positive cheerleader, but even he has come out and said some negative things about RWBY. So I'm wondering like how the fandom treats anyone that talks about RWBY now.
It's the ratio. You can only say 5% negative things about RWBY.
Like Cal had like one take that was kind of negative, or if even, or like wrote an AU story or something. There was just one.
Neo.
Yeah, it was just that one thing, and now there's tons of people that are like, "She's horrible. She's a horrible critic that hates the show," and bleh. And it's like it just took one thing, and they all turned. I remember Raijin Rising, one of the nicest, coolest people in the fandom, and he had one video that was like talking about something Ironwood related, and then a bunch of people was like, "Time to add him to the shit list," and it's like that's all it takes. One person to point out one thing for you to hate them, for you to turn on them entirely. Crazy.
It really goes back to this idea of the fandom just having this really toxic mentality for anything that is perceived as criticism, and that goes into fanfics because, like you said, Cal started to get really negative criticism with her takes when she started to write those AU stories because it was a fixing. And there was even an argument in the RWBY Critics Discord server that I kind of started because I pointed out to someone, like, you do know that AUs and shit are standard fare in all fandoms across the internet, right?
Yeah, that's part of how this show got popular. It's because of things like that.
I'm really into the My Hero fanfiction circuit right now. You can't go 5 fucking feet without tripping over an AU.
No, you can't.
Yeah, no.
Like, there's one I'm reading right now that's called Quirk Roulette, where every single character has a shuffled around quirk. It's like it's very interesting that way. It's like, what if?
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, they and like the RWBY fandom sort of has this weird obsession with purity. It's like, well, how much can you change of RWBY before it's not RWBY anymore? It's like, who cares? It's a fanfic.
I mean, that's what I always. That's what I was
Like,
always
if
saying.
it's
It's just
like a.
And
Yeah,
someone
go
was
ahead,
going
go
like, well, what if you change everything about it, right down to the characters' personalities? And it's like, okay, yeah, if you change the characters' personalities and stuff like that.
You mean like RWBY
along
does? Remember the opening RWBY line of Volume 2? Friends and Weiss. It's like, nope, that's not how Volume 1 ended.
Dragon Ball Z. Just got back from
No.
watching the other episodes. Angry face, angry face. I would feel angry if I just watched 12 fucking Tide ads.
Yeah,
But yeah,
he's angry because of the ads, not because of the episodes. Okay.
But it's just wild to me that there is just this purity culture surrounding RWBY and its fandom space and fanfic. Is like, and then everyone always has to go to the extremes. It's like, well, what if you take literally
Yeah.
every single aspect of RWBY away? Is it still a fanfic? And it's like, well, I mean, yeah. If your intent
Yes.
is to make it a fanfic for RWBY, then it is still a fanfic for RWBY.
Fandoms
Yeah.
discover the ship of
Other
Theseus.
properties, even though-
I still can't forget that there was this one RWBY fanfic writer that literally just copied this book about a girl that falls in love with a guy, and it's like a far-flung romance. It's like one of these like really sad stories where she gets pregnant, he dies in a car crash, she gets into a car crash, loses the baby, that sort of stuff, like that sort of melodrama stuff. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, this feels like it's not even written by a real person and things are just swapped around. I looked into it.
Was it taken from Colleen Hoover?
I can't remember. I just remember that it was freaking verbatim the book that she was like inspired by, just with proper nouns swapped around. I don't think she changed. I think she just changed Yang into a guy so that would work.
And that fan fiction artist's name, I'm not going to say
it. Were you about to say it was me? Huh?
No. I was going to say it was James Summerton.
Yeah, like plagiarism is not good for fanfics. You shouldn't do plagiarism. But
it was
if
still
you're
a RWBY fanfic. Just saying.
Yeah, if it's still technically a RWBY fanfic, you can make a story like that with the RWBY characters, and it's still a RWBY fanfiction because the intent of it is to be with the mindset that when you're reading it, you visualize the RWBY characters. But
the thing with the fan, they always act like things like fan fiction existing is somehow gonna hurt the show. It's like it doesn't affect the show in any way. I don't know why it bothers so many of them so much.
If anything, like fan fiction of any kind for any show, especially this show, is a net benefit. Like there's nothing but benefits with having it around.
There's
the
reason.
Let's be honest, it's one of the biggest aspects that maintain the show's popularity.
The reason why there is a reason why we joke about RWBY being kept alive by the porn, because it's fucking true.
Yeah,
like
it's like that clip. It's like that clip of Homer Simpson being all like, it's funny because it's true.
Yes.
Like after RWBY dies and it actually is really just over, fan fiction will still get made long after it's dead. So
by the way,
real
this
fans?
is not exactly a dig against RWBY. That's what happened with Dragon Ball.
Little Witch Academia has not been on air for over 10 years, and they're still regularly getting new fanfic. And you know what? The fandom fucking loves it. Give me another Diana and Akko in like World War II Germany. Like, give me that. Let me see that fucking story. Or World War I. I guess that was the one I was thinking of.
There are still fandoms out there for shows that stopped in the 90s, like Slayers or Yu Yu Hakusho or Gundam Wing, stuff
Or
like
Dragon
that. Like
Ball
they
Z.
still
Oh,
survive off of
definitely is a lot of
fanfic.
Gundam Wing.
Oh yeah.
Also,
God, you
There's definitely.
you remember back in the day that the Gundam Wing Sailor Moon crossover fics were so popular that fanfiction.net had to dedicate an entire section just for them.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you
That
didn't
is
know
such
that?
it's there. It's still there. It's such a bizarre.
It's still there.
Such a
Yeah.
bizarre thing.
To touch on this comic specifically, a notion this comic tries to touch on is the idea that all criticism is bad, and they act like criticism of something will kill that thing, will make it not exist anymore,
Right.
as if making enough "this was bad" videos is going to somehow kill off the show. And it's like,
Yeah.
that's just not how the industry works.
Yeah.
You know, Velma just
No.
got a second season. That was horrible.
Well, admittedly,
No one liked
like the
it.
second season was probably like someone explained to me that the way that they greenlight things is you get a number of episodes and then it gets divided into a number of seasons. Like it's
Yeah, it was
So it's already
contractually. Yeah.
And I'm
But, like,
pretty sure that they banked on the fact that there are people out there who will do nothing but shit on the show, and that is advertising the show.
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep, rage baiting is now an industry practice.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
So yeah,
But going back to what you said, Critter, about go ahead.
oh no, I
think
was
you're
going
about
to move things
get
along, but
right
if you have a
into
thought you
what I
want to
was about
continue,
to say.
please go ahead.
It's relevant to this because like I was knee deep in this in so many conversations surrounding this thing, let's call it. And yeah, you're absolutely right, Critter, in the sense that like, okay, how about hypothetically, let's do y'all do me a favor and close your eyes real quick and imagine that we're in like a timeline in which this comic was okay, this guy same starting point. This guy says that is a bad sister, and he actually got to talk. And he actually got to explain why he doesn't think that she is a good sister or a well-written sister. I don't even know what the fuck is this whole thing is. Right? He explains his reasoning. And then Blake and Weiss actually tell him why his perspective is wrong. Because seriously, these two tell this guy is that, oh, you're not thinking correctly. You're not a part of our thinking. Have a different perspective, you fucking idiot. And yet they don't even tell him what he is supposed to think, why he should think this way. They give him no reason to believe that Yang is a good sister.
Yeah, if I stood there and said Yang is a bad sister, and then two girls muzzled me and held a sword to my throat and said "nuh-uh," but didn't elaborate me beyond that, I wanted to change my mind.
It's really funny because like there's a big movement about how corporal punishment is very wrong and that you shouldn't do it. Yet these people like this are so quick to use what is effectively corporal punishment in order to silence people that they don't agree with. Because this is effectively what this comic is. They're using corporal punishment. It is the quote unquote parent spanking the child in order to correct their behavior.
Without explaining how their behavior should be corrected. Like, it's not the worst thing anyone in the fandom has ever done, and I don't want to pretend that this is something that happens super commonly. I hope it's not. But dude, it's friggin' weird. I'm sorry. I don't know why there are certain people that don't think it's weird, but it really is. And again, I keep saying this, but it's because it's true. Imagine if this happened in the reverse.
Yeah.
How do you think these same people would react then?
Or even worse, they're starting to set the standard that it is okay to draw pictures where you are violent to people that you disagree with.
Someone quick, get Floof on the phone.
Oh my God.
Floof, agree with you. Floof, you were right the whole time. Come back. But by the way, speaking of Floof, he drew like 90% of these faces that you're seeing cycling through while I talk.
Oh,
didn't he draw the original
They're
lobster?
great.
I think I don't actually remember because Dashi just gave it to me one day. It was either Floof or Lightning who drew the original lobster. And it was at Dashi's request. So yes, thank all three of those people for seeing my lovely visage.
hell yeah.
But yeah, guys, I remember back in the day, he just raked over the coals for his Bumblebee art.
Yeah.
Admittedly, that was intentionally inflammatory.
Yeah.
That was
yeah.
But
I mean, are you saying this isn't intentionally inflammatory?
Well, okay, yeah, but like having characters actively dismembered and then arranged in a B pattern, that you know,
yeah,
Floof had an edgelord moment there. But I was gonna say
it's just an alternate reality where Adam won, and this is just an alternate reality where the writing is good.
There's a reason. There is a reason why we went through covering Bumblebee in as much depth as we did, because we wanted to be sure we hit all of our bases, we heard all of the arguments, we covered at least one major video on the topic that went on for far too fucking long.
And we still have arguably another one to go through.
Admittedly, it's an older one, so it's going to be harder to argue.
Yeah.
Arguably.
And then we also went through all 9 volumes and talked in depth about the relationship shared between the two characters and where it should have been at different points in time and why. And we elaborated on all those points in depth because we wanted to get down to the center of whether or not it was written poorly or not. And we came to our conclusion upon directly analyzing everything in depth. It's the reason why I'm taking so long to do my My Hero Academia video.
That's what you're supposed to do. By doing this, you have a better understanding.
My Hero Academia video, I didn't mention this on stream, I don't think. I'm up to 106 pages of notes. I'm going through the entire manga, and I'm taking detailed notes as to every single major plot point, character beat, everything that I can in order to try and rebuff some of the biggest complaints in the entire fandom. And the reason I'm doing that is so I can have a concrete evidence backing me up the entire time. And then I can also go and say, now there might be different interpretations of some of this evidence, and here's what it could be. So being able to open my mind to other possibilities and also understand where people might be coming from. Zio, regretfully, it's some
that's what you're supposed to do.
Me.
Like anything less than that, again, as I said, just sows derision. Like, I have no idea. Dude, imagine if we dealt with Zell Rider a similar way with his Bumblebee video, and instead of actually thoroughly explaining why he's wrong in his video, we just go nuh-uh for like 5 hours. Right?
Maybe that's what we should do.
And don't explain ourselves.
Maybe that's what we should do. We should take that comic and just change all the language to be anti-Bumblebee and see what happens.
Yeah. Kaiser being like 10 seconds behind everyone else is really funny.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But yeah, I'll do it. I'll commission someone to actually make a comic like that just to show how freaking weird this is.
Just don't do it to Floof. He's beyond that these days. he doesn't like instigating the fandom like that. But yeah, so I guess we have maybe just the end here. We should have some just parting thoughts about this entire experiment that has been RWBY, because Lord knows when we're going to see it again in the future.
I'm gonna need a drink.
What platform it'll be on?
My biggest thing is, like, we think parts are written poorly. And if you don't think that, that's fine. They're all just opinions about a cartoon. If you think Yang is written to be a really great sister, cool. It doesn't affect
should probably
anyone
talk
else.
to your own.
It's like my opinions don't need to hurt you, and your opinions don't need to hurt me. So maybe chillax. You don't need to make comics like this.
It's so funny that people just don't have the ability to talk or debunk anymore. It's always just this person has the wrong opinion. I'm going to violently shut them up.
Savages, savages, barely even human.
Are we even allowed to sing that song these days?
People just don't like being wrong. Like, I got in, a completely unrelated argument with somebody on Twitter.
I think I saw that.
Yeah, it was fucking...
Do you have any idea how little that narrows it down, fat man?
Yeah, no, it was somebody who's like, oh god, somebody didn't like my lolly art. They're reducing my freedoms. And I'm like, no. How does saying stop drawing lolly art reduce your freedoms? You literally don't have to stop. You didn't lose any freedom by hearing someone's opinion. And he's like, leaving a negative comment is literally stabbing me.
What?
No, here, I'll give you I'll put I took a screenshot of it because, like, I knew at that point, like, oh, this is gonna end in a block.
No,
people get so chronically online, they actually treat, like, internet comments like personal actual attacks.
Look, it's like, let me stab you, or else you're playing the victim. What the fuck is wrong with you? It's like, leaving a negative comment on your lolly art is fucking stabbing you? Like, brother in Christ.
Dog, what is this world coming to, man?
You're not allowed to criticize me. That is literal violence.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to disagree with me. That is literal violence.
Dude, I was arguing with somebody today, like in the comments of my retweet post about this comic or whatever, and like they were saying that, oh, people are harassing this person. I was like, no, the fuck they're not. I can see the repost. I see it. Like I have proof this happened. So
Also,
like, and he's saying like, oh, well, everybody's calling their comic cringe and saying that they're wrong. It's like, yeah, they posted on a public platform. So people on the public platform are going to talk about the thing you posted on the public platform publicly.
Yeah.
Also, the artist who made the...
Sorry, not sorry.
Also, the artist who made the comic has handled it so, like, with stride. Like, they seem completely unbothered by other people's opinions about the comic. They just keep posting their normal things. It's like, yeah, because people just have opinions.
They're infantilizing this creator. Infantilizing this creator.
I had an argument with a friend of mine from another server about this very thing with fanfic, because they're of the opinion that you shouldn't leave negative criticism on somebody's fanfic, and it's like, but you're allowed to have an opinion on that fanfic, whether or not it's negative or positive. And it's like, no, because this is my space, and I'm allowed to curate my space the way that I want. And it's like, well, technically, no, it's not your space. You don't own the website.
I was gonna say, it's not my space. You don't have Tom as a friend.
It's like, no, like, if you want to legitimately make your own space where you either don't have a comment section or can, moderate the comments at your discretion, then you do that. But you can't, you can't just claim... You can't claim, fucking, like, fanfiction.net as your space.
or AO3, which I think where she mostly goes, because they allow you to delete any kind of negative criticism that you don't like.
Oh, well, if you're allowed to delete it, then, it's like, fuck, like, why? Then...
Well, no, like, there's a difference between, like, having the ability to delete something.
Yeah,
but
like, you can still leave that comment, and then they can delete it. It's fine. It's whatever, man.
It's like when people get upset, come back. It's like when people get upset that someone blocks them on Twitter, and it's like, yeah, they're totally allowed. If you annoy them, you're gonna get blocked.
It's just complaining about the fact that they left the comment at all and saying that they shouldn't be allowed to do that. Is like they have an opinion about your work because you posted it online. Like, they're allowed to have an opinion about your work because this is a common space. And she's like, no, it's not a common space. It's my personal space. It's like, no,
What?
it's not. It's not your
What?
website. You don't own this website. You didn't build it from scratch. You're allowed to be here. Just because you go into a cafe and sit in a chair doesn't mean that you own that chair.
Pull up the terms
And then the server
and
comes up with the menu, and then they're like, what the fuck? This is my space. You're not allowed to be here.
pull up the
Yeah.
fucking terms and conditions. You do not own the website. You're here as like you need to remember, everyone, you're on these websites and services as a fucking guest. Like that is
Yes.
and admittedly, you should have rights and protections while you're here, and you shouldn't be screwed out of anything like your personal data like they always do. And man, I wish I had an ad for Surfshark VPN or whatever. Whatever you want to call it.
Hold on, wait. I actually do have an ad for Surfshark VPN.
Wait, you do?
Hold on. Yeah.
You got an ad? Why didn't you tell me you got an ad?
No, it's a sponsored link that if you sign up using my link, I think everybody who has Surfshark has access to it. But it's a sponsored link. If you sign up using my link, then I get a free month as well. So
Oh damn.
yeah. I think everyone who has Surfshark has access to it. So I'm gonna drop it in chat.
But yeah, no, like what I mean here though is like
Alright.
you should have protections and all that bullshit, but you're still a guest. Like at the end of the day, how they manage their website is up to them. So if they want it to have like, oh, you have public comments and public reviews and public likes and that kind of thing, you can't change it. If we want to have it so that anything you like on Twitter shows up in everyone else's fucking feed, well, we're going to do that, and it's going to make everyone uncomfortable, and it's going to just completely demoralize all the not safe for work artists because no one wants to heart their shit. So yeah, Batman for that link in there. So everyone go click that and go give them a free month.
Yeah.
It's
If everybody in the
very-
chat gives me a free month, I'll never run out of Surfshark again.
It's just very it's just kind of I don't know. I don't want to
Narcissistic.
go so far as to say that it's disgusting to have this mentality that you shouldn't leave negative comments, that you shouldn't have to have somebody disgrace you with the idea that somebody out there doesn't like your work. To want to censor
And I was gonna say,
like somebody's opinion.
I get it. I understand. It's fucking uncomfortable when someone comes in onto your work and is like, man, this is fucking awful. You're terrible at what you do. You're shit. Go die in a hole somewhere in Minecraft.
No offense, but burn this.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my fucking god. That was Fat Man's first comment on my volume 2. My volume 2 rewrite. That was Fat Man did not hold
so
back.
harsh.
Yeah, it's painful, but you know what?
And so a legend was born.
Yeah, but you know what? You live with it, you roll with it, you work with it, and you make something better in the future. That's just how it works.
Or better yet, just fucking ignore it.
Yeah.
Like, we got freaking block buttons for a freaking reason. Are you serious?
Like
It's such Karen behavior.
And
It is.
not listen, not take anyone's opinion but your own and write your own thing because it's for the people who get it, the people who
Already agree
want
with you,
exactly
yeah.
what you're writing, then, hey.
If you want a hug box, make your hug box and stay there. Yeah.
Dead
Yeah.
Rex,
That's
the only
good,
comments I hate seeing are the porn bot comments. No, because at least most of those have like proper grammar.
Pussy in bio is proper grammar.
It is subject, verb, object,
subject, predicate.
They always goof up their capitalization though.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. But it's better than the people that have like the weird run-along sentences and you can barely understand what they're saying.
Cask of Amontillado in my cellar.
Yeah, like
Back to
I
Ruby.
I think that there is quick before we go back to Ruby. I think that there is a bit of a nuance that you can have because there is such thing as like unhelpful and bad criticism. in the sense of like it's absolutely worthless to everyone.
I kind of want to defend completely baseless bad faith criticism because
oh really?
Yeah, like I want to play like a devil's advocate because
Okay.
I've gotten some just like incorrect criticism like on some of my videos, but even those like, you know, completely baseless remarks are at least letting me know how like the bottom of the barrel are like interpreting something that I thought was clear when I made it.
Sure.
Because like it's the one where in my volume 2 review where I use the image of the guy like tugging his collar like you know, like the, and I thought that was very clear shorthand of like I'm nervous, I'm sweating over here because I'm lying and I hope I don't get caught, like to like demonstrate that the thing that I was saying while that image on screen was something that I knew was a lie, but people didn't understand that. People didn't get the
if there's one thing that being a content creator on YouTube and being a writer has
you
taught
don't
me,
know where the bottom of the barrel is.
I was gonna say is that
you
nuance is
really
fucking dead.
don't.
And it's the reason why, like, and I understand now why a lot of things are written the way they are with like really dumbed down language, because there's a lot of people out there that need it dumbed down.
Yeah.
So, you know, even
the moment we try to split hairs of, oh, but there's the bad criticism that's not worth talking about, that's when we get things like that comic where it's like, people will justify any kind of criticism to be that bad criticism.
What I was trying to segment into was like talking about how to like quote unquote properly criticize something even in a negative way. So that there would be less comments like that, just in general, because a lot of people don't really know how to express themselves properly. So they end up basically just doing the more legible version of keyboard mashing.
I also say being a critic is not easy. It's not easy honing the skills to properly explain yourself.
I did back in the My Little Pony days. I reviewed the episode called Honest Apple, and I think it's honestly some of my best writing, because that episode is like about criticism and like, you know, a lot of my favorite movies are about that subject. You know, like Whiplash, Black Swan, Birdman, Ratatouille. You know, like they're about criticism on the face of it, and I've always wanted to you know, talk more about that subject,
that concept.
But
I was gonna say like, and what sucks also is as a critic, sometimes you can get things wrong. Critics are not flawless. I mean, and when you don't like, I look back at a lot of our reactions where we're on the fly, and I'm making either suppositions that I know are wrong or I'm misunderstanding things, or you
misunderstand something or mishear something in the moment.
Given right.
Well, that is also criticism,
there are
like pointing out
somebody made that you don't.
Pointing out that somebody who's criticizing something is wrong. That's also criticism, and that is helpful if they are an honest person, because then they can rectify their position for the future.
Yeah, because like that's what
no, you're absolutely right.
Perfect Harbinger used to do. He used to find all of the things that we talked over and point all those out. Like, I appreciate all that stuff.
Also, hearing really good criticism can completely change your mind on something. This is my favorite example. So Twins, my sister, Twins Inc., she was like, Vernal should have spring colors on her outfit. And I was like, no, that's dumb because they're bandits. That wouldn't make sense. And then she made her video talking about colors and how if Vernal is going to play the role of being the spring maiden to like convince people of this, this is the kind of story you've made where color is important. These are the kind of characters you've designed where color is important. She should lean into the Spring Maiden concept. And after hearing her fully, like, word it in a way, like with fully articulated, I was like, oh my god, she's so fucking right. I was wrong. She completely...
Yeah. That is what makes criticism so great and why I love it so much.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. I think, actually, you know what? I don't even have to go with an example. I do have a couple, and maybe I'll get to it if we have time. But to end this off, let's say hypothetically, if anyone thinks that Yang is actually a well-written sister in the show, I would love to actually talk with you about that. I would absolutely love to actually have that conversation. And if I'm wrong, shit, buddy, I'd be happy about that. You really think if I get all the facts presented to me that I would consider being wrong about this aspect of the show as a loss? Absolutely not. That would be a win for me. Because this would actually be one of the few things in the show that would actually turn out right.
Now, do you mean like well-written or like a good sister? Like a good person or good as a
presume well-written. We don't know because the freaking straw man in this comic got silenced before we even get to hear him explain. I'm assuming it's well-written or good because
I think the statement is supposed to be, because I don't think they intended for Yang to become a bad sister. I think that was the fact that it's interesting in the way that she's a bad sister is a happy accident, if you want to even call it that.
Sure.
I mean, intentional or not, it's still.
Well, no, it's because the framing of the show still frames her as a good sister, and that's the problem.
I mean, does it though?
Again,
like, Ruby fucking killed herself in front of her. In Minecraft, obviously.
It's not like
she lost her diamond pickaxe and everything.
Yeah, but like we said, it's not like they really truly like have us hang and flesh out the fact that Yang was in the wrong for not at least seeing what Ruby is obviously going through. But again, that is our perspective here, and if any of you think that we're wrong about this, actually talk about it. Yeah. You'd be surprised what you can actually get through by having a conversation. And if you don't want to have that conversation, guess what? That is all for the best. We said this last stream, and I'll say it here. These are the conversations that we have. These are the conversations that we want to have. If you don't want to have them, that's okay. But be honest with yourself.
And don't get involved with people who want to criticize and then complain that they're criticizing.
I always wished the people who commented on... Go ahead. I always wish the people who would talk about how bad my videos were would explain why they thought Ruby was good instead of explaining why my video was wrong.
It's one of those like levels of disconnect because people are, I think, scared to actually look at Ruby and try to be like, oh, it's bad.
Yeah.
Like there are two people who talk about Ruby. There's people who say Ruby is bad, and then there's the people who say that Ruby is bad are bad. There's no people who actually say Ruby is good.
Do you see Liubi's art?
Liubi had art?
Yeah.
Did he not tag us?
No, he tagged everyone.
Wait,
one of my examples, before we get too far away from it, one of my examples of hearing...
my God.
Oh my God.
Of hearing criticism that changed my mind on something was...
Dude, this is perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much, Liubi. Holy shit.
Where is it in the art channel?
Yeah.
I'll post it here right now. I'm posting it right now.
Okay. But one of my examples of like hearing good criticism that like changed my mind on something was actually Raymond explaining why he liked the Too Many Cooks sketch. Because I didn't like it when I first saw it, and then he explained the joke behind it, which I didn't get, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, no, yeah, that's actually funny. All right.
Oh God, I completely forgot I did that to you. I didn't realize that they changed your whole mind on it.
Oh yeah, no, it's I appreciate it on like a whole different level now that I completely like missed before.
Actually,
I would love to
you know what? A great example of criticism that I received that I changed my mind on was relatively recently, actually. It was about X-Men. Twilight, remember, like in the Tundra, for context, it was after the stream that we did responding to that guy about the sympathetic straw man, and I was saying, yeah, some level of mutant registration would actually be, okay, because, you got these people with superpowers, and that'd probably be a safety issue, whatever. Government should probably get on that, at least in some manner. And I discussed this in the Tundra. Some people didn't take that well, which is understandable. We were all trying to be civil about that, and we hit a bit of a sort of impasse in the conversation, and then I talked to Twilight, and we talked about it privately, and she fleshed out her thoughts on that subject. I ran through all of my arguments, and at the end of the day, guess what? I changed my friggin' mind. Surprise, freaking surprise. I actually changed my mind on that subject, and
now he wants to exterminate all
registering
the
mutants isn't really that much different. Oh, what? Wait,
you being delayed is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Oh my, what? I don't know what it is. I don't know why this is happening. I hear everybody else on time just fine, but I don't know. But anyways, though, it's great, because now I have a better understanding of why, registration is always, in any degree, is always painted as bad in the X-Men media and all that stuff, because it has a lot of consequences to it, similar to how it would be in real life. So I give y'all that. Y'all actually helped me change my mind on that shit, and I have a different perspective. And am I crying about it? No. Fuck no. I'm a grown-ass man. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, because, like, it just because somebody has a certain opinion doesn't necessarily mean that they're doing it because of this reason. It could be that they just don't understand why this other thing is bad, because they haven't looked at it outside of the specific context of what we're talking about. So, like, that's with the conversation. With the conversation that I had with Kaiser about the X-Men thing, I took the conversation outside of the X-Men comics and told him, like, would this be acceptable in real life, sort of thing.
Yeah. You should always go into an argument with the intention of changing your own mind and not someone else's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I'm never going into an argument again.
It depends, but
no, exactly, because like it doesn't matter how much facts people want to spit. If you don't want to change your mind, you don't have to.
Remember, a debate is for the audience. It's not for the person that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I was gonna say,
like,
I want.
I went into that Sorry, Raymond. I went into that conversation like trying to get on the same page with Kaiser rather than trying to like teach him something or change his mind or something like that. Like, okay, I believe that this is why a lot of people believe this. What is your opinion on it? Why do you not think that this is a bad thing? That sort of thing.
I was gonna say, like, I know Kaiser said, I'm not crying about it, but I want the comic of him after this stream, just crawling up into his bed.
Oh my god!
Curling around his little like a roll.
Just
plushie
me is like the Soy Jack who has the mask saying, "I'm fine." Yeah, and I'm just crying under
it. Soy Jack Kaiser.
How could this happen?
Here, I'll get Soy Jack Ruby up on screen, because that was the thing that this episode gave us with the Boba. We got the Soy Jack face. Oh.
Remember when this was about Ruby?
Oh no, it never was.
About what now? Never heard of it.
It sounds like some dead show. It's honestly, it doesn't feel real. Like I keep saying that to myself. It's like, this is it. It's over now. And then I'm like, but is it?
It does, yeah, you're right. It doesn't feel real. It feels like we're going to, like a year's going to be out, and then later we're going to hear, oh, Ruby's back in a brand new adventure.
I'll give it 2.
It's gonna be Universal Studios, Ruby's Log Flume. The canonical ending to Ruby is a fucking amusement park ride.
That's the end, yeah.
Honestly, I would actually
it's a
be
roller coaster
impressed.
to simulate your emotions.
You're gonna get really high up in Volume 3, and you're gonna get real low once you hit Volume 5.
God, no.
Oh.
Take the dip in Volume 9.
They
Just
serve,
wait for that loop,
Dude,
you get complimentary tea at
like
the end of the
Volume
ride.
9 teas. Like a tea jug with the leaf, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna swap over and start showing off some of our art.
Yay.
Hell yeah.
Here's that.
Thank you for all the lovely, lovely art
Hell
today.
yes.
Yeah, they're great.
Thank you very much.
So
This has
first,
been-
Even the
I
one where
have
I'm
missed
full.
this surplus of fan art.
so the first one is from Chronosphere,
Today,
which is
like-
Fat Man Falling, joining the battle as I hand him an invitation. Great little goofy. Then you have Critter getting angry during her stream covering the junior detectives, which was just a legendary breakdown.
Just went full feral mode.
Legendary.
Might turn that to
Holy
an
shit.
emote. That would be like a great emote for the servers. Twilight and her
We
preciously.
need this as an emote. Yeah.
The only reason she ever visits Ruby is for fractured fairy
Yes.
tales.
For Fractured Fairy Tales, yeah.
You are the only saving grace of this nightmare.
And it's great because like it's on my mind now that I'm going to do something Fractured Fairy Tales related for Critters Animation Challenge.
Then down here we have old Twilight.
I love the Palmon cane.
It's just a nice touch. I'm trying. What is it? Does it give me Wind Waker vibes a little bit?
Huh.
like Grandma from Wind Waker.
Yeah,
Take your soup.
It kind of has that, like, kind of a little bit of a head empty feel. I like it.
It's kind of funny too because like everyone associates me with Palmon because I based Takara off of Mimi, but I never actually decided what my Digimon partner would be. I have no idea. Like, I don't even know if I should get a canon Digimon or if I should ask somebody to like make me a fake mon or anything like that.
Hell yes.
Then we have Ruby in the Has-Been Hotel style from Deaderex. These last two are from Deaderex. Which
It looks so good.
It looks so
Yeah.
good. Also a little bit cursed, but it looks so good. I'm not entirely sure where the barrel of the gun is anymore, but like the grip is still
It's there. It's just hidden behind the
She just-
rose.
She just spins and suddenly it looks different.
Blurry effect.
Oh god,
In
I
fact,
just looked over at the
second half of
stream.
that design reminds me. Oh, what?
I just looked over at the stream and like how far behind like Chad is.
Yeah.
Like, oh god.
Yeah.
Good luck, guys. If we ever talk to you in
Good luck.
chat, just know it was whatever you said 10 minutes ago.
This is from Chronosphere. John, why are you participating in this plot? And the hand of Ruby comes down. Silence, Ruby. He is my favorite boy. But I'm your protagonist. You can be the Messiah or whatever.
The Messiah or whatever.
That really is it. Like, what the fuck?
And then
I
the
guess
last.
just make her the Messiah now.
Hey, giving her silver eyes didn't make her actually special. Making her the main character didn't make her actually special. What if we just make her Jesus? Are people gonna care now?
The last
What's that like Zack Snyder
doubt it.
meme where it was like subtle symbolism in filmmaking?
Jesus! I am Jesus! I
Thank-
love that nostalgia critic clip. I love it so much.
It's so perfect. And then, of course, Deaderex with the Batman talking about how many Twitter fights he's been in. And just, like, do you have any idea? This?
Do you have the slightest idea how little that narrows it down? Beautiful, dude. This will be my Hollywood. This will be my Halloween profile pic, dude. That's my
hell yes.
Nice.
And now they reveal my identity as this summer maiden, Lisa Lavender. Oh my god! Oh,
finally,
I would legitimately
best girl
die.
gets her recognition.
It all comes full circle.
I
circle.
I legitimately, that would
Knock
be
on wood.
amazing. Oh, so good. So good. Thank you all so much for
really
submitting.
good.
It's
Thank you
such
so
good
much,
stuff.
guys.
Mm-hmm.
This has been the best art we've had in a while. I feel like the
Yeah.
has to have been a little bit dry.
Well, I mean,
But
yeah, to be fair, we were
it's
covering
understandable.
Rebel Moon, and there wasn't much going on.
Oh, I guess we didn't show the titty Salem one.
Oh, no, we did not show the Titty Salem one.
We're not. We can't. We can't. Fat man, come on.
Dollar sign's already yellow.
Yeah, no, you want to turn it
Who's
fucking
spicy?
red.
Raymond's YouTube just explodes.
I already got one copy. I already got one strike on my channel right
Bad
now.
fat man. Bad.
I've still got, what, like 2 or 3 days before that expires.
Fingers
I
crossed,
thought
bro.
Strikes lasted for like months.
No, because like I did the counter notification 3 times,
Okay.
and they finally came back like, if they don't get back to us, that they've actually sued you, we're gonna release the strike.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah,
That's fucking, yeah, I've never actually had to take it to a counter notification before. But like,
Lucky
oh
bitch.
gosh, that's the worst.
Yeah, I got one strike one time, and it was Studio Ghibli, and I was a giant puss baby, and I was like, I'll just get rid of it. Don't touch me. Leave me alone. I won't do it again. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I've had
to do it more.
yeah. One time, not to keep bringing up my pony channel, but like one time I got a strike there, but it wasn't associated with a video. And none of my videos went down. I just got a copyright strike.
well, it's if
And
it's
none of
pony
my
shit.
videos even got blocked or even claimed.
Frankly, if I were YouTube, I'd strike random pony channels just on the off chance they had some weird horse porn on there.
Well, it wasn't even a community guideline strike. It was a copyright strike from, DHX, but it wasn't associated to a video. So I had no recourse. I just had to wait for the strike to run out. Luckily, it was in the off season, but like it was weird.
Is it so? Wait, are these reviews not on your normal YouTube channel?
No,
Are they on a separate?
yeah.
All right.
Last time I talked about ponies on my normal channel, I lost like 150 subscribers. Yeah. The channel is called Fat Man Falling Talks About Ponies. If you want to see that.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, show what else you got, because we're wrapping up here, so it's time to start shilling.
Oh, I also have a regular channel called Fat Man Falling.
Shill.
Is there anything on that channel?
You watch your mouth. No, I'm working on a several dozen Star Trek videos. The one that I might finish first is like an overview of all of the trial episodes of Star Trek. It's too much fun. Raymond, do you want to show up that picture of Miles Edgeworth O'Brien that I made?
Oh yeah. Put it in the chat. I'll pop it up.
Man, there's gonna be so much good Fat Man Falling stuff for me to watch. To Star Trek
Yeah.
and ponies.
Oh God, yeah, I know. I got the market cornered.
I'm just gonna watch, even though I'm not a Star Trek fan. I'm just gonna watch it just to hear what you have to say about it.
I forget how long it's been since you first started talking to me about that video. It's got to be like at least a year.
I was gonna say long because you've rewatched like the entirety of Star Trek like 3 or 4 times at this rate in that span of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely seen every episode at least 3 times since I started watching.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Wow. And I started like in the pandemic, so like it hasn't even been that long.
Wait, what are you talking about? It's been 4 years, Fat Man.
I guess that's a point.
For those of you who don't know,
yeah.
Miles Edgeworth O'Brien.
it
It angers me how good this is. Like his
It's
jaw
actually
fits
so
perfectly.
perfect.
Oh god, that it's been 4 years since I watched my last CW show, and that was The 100 because I saw it on Netflix, and I'm like, I feel like watching something new for once. And then I was like, oh, this isn't a show that's meant to be binged. That's why I'm feeling burnt out.
Oh.
CW shows, man, bringing smiles to everyone. And by that,
well,
I mean,
and frowns when they canceled live-action Powerpuff Girls.
I know.
I came around.
Oh my
I came around. I
God.
wanted to watch it so
Ruby, what
badly.
the heck?
Greenlight live-action Powerpuff Girls.
I wanted it so. I wanted it, and I wanted it to
Warner
be bad.
Brothers took from us, ladies and gentlemen.
Like I need there to be recognition out there that we shit on shows, but sometimes it's good to have bad stuff. Like if they've leaned into it. I mean, I don't know how you lean into it because there is always the risk and like the very real risk of if you lean into it too much, you become self-aware and that kind of takes the fun out of it.
Yeah.
But like if the producers know it's bad and they just don't tell the directing crew and they intentionally market it as bad, then we might be able to get somewhere with this.
Yeah.
You get like this little passive aggressive thing in the corner of their commercial is just like an emoji of shit.
Yeah. Like,
rate us 1 star on Yelp.
Yeah. I think things that I think that things that are like 100% amazing all the time, which they do exist, aren't as like it's really hard to like watch that as like a comfort show. Like I remember I was talking to like somebody on Twitter, and they were like, what the fuck do you mean you like Infinity War more than Goodfellas? And I'm like, okay, Goodfellas is a masterpiece, but I don't want to watch it more than once. Like, it's so heavy. Yeah. It's too much quality to be like an enjoyable watching experience. It's intense. Right. It's stressful.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. It is a masterpiece, and I wouldn't call Infinity War a masterpiece. But like when faced with those two movies and which one would I like to watch more? I take the popcorn schlock. Like it's like too much good stuff.
It's like
can get exhausting.
You can eat a really good, rich slice of chocolate cake.
Yeah.
But if you keep
sometimes
eating,
you just want Oreos.
Yeah, sometimes you just want Oreos.
So I personally
the movie. I was gonna say the movie The Green Knight changed my life. It was amazing. I don't want to watch it again.
Yep.
It was amazing, and I highly recommend it. But I am good for a while.
That's how I feel about freaking Angel's Egg, like the anime.
Oh God! Oh dude, I need to show you the
director of Ghost in the Shell.
I watched that, and
he made that movie. It's a great movie, very philosophically interesting. Don't want to watch that anytime soon.
I need to show you the ostrich egg. It's
is that a parody of Angel's Egg?
Right?
I personally disagree. I will always watch A Silent Voice. That is such a perfect movie. I love it so much. I will watch it over
always
and over again.
read A Silent Voice. That because like the movie ends at a good point, but it doesn't go far enough, and it can't because it's such a it's like it ends a little bit like I want to say 2/3 of the way through the story, and it's like, well, there's another third left. We're not going to adapt that into a film. We're not going to make that a TV series. We can't make it like an OVA. It's like a weird place to end off on, so we can't continue this. I want a full anime series of A Silent Voice.
The other thing that I will watch over and over again is Bokura no War Game. which sometimes I'll be like, I want to spice things up and I'll watch Summer Wars, but Children's War Game is the superior movie.
Actually, another example is like this show made by another one of like Rumiko Takahashi, you know, the Inuyasha creators anime. Maizani Kobu is probably her best work, is like the best romance that I've seen in anime to date. It's really good, but I recommend anyone in their right mind to actually sit down and watch it at least once. But once is good enough for me, at least for a while, okay? Because it's so long. There's so much to get through. And there's a tiny bit of a will they, won't they thing going on, even though it still works really well. But it's very dense. It requires a lot of time to just dedicate yourself to. You have to be in the right mood to commit yourself to something like that. Yeah. Which is why it took me so long for me to even get into Legends of the Galactic Heroes. 14 episodes in, by the way. It's still really good. Because I knew that's the amount of commitment I need for it.
All right, I'm
Eclipse Mark is absolutely right. Crank and Crank 2 are peak action trash. Crank 2 has my favorite joke in it at the end of Crank 1 where he's calling his girlfriend and then they play the message he left and it's just rushing wind sound and you can't hear a word he's saying.
But yeah, there you go, Kaiser. That's the ostrich.
Oh my god!
I made that after watching Angel's Egg and just being like, all right, I get what you're going for, but I find this funnier.
I always find it funny.
Dude, this is such a... I just want to say, this is a great dichotomy. Me experiencing after Angel's Egg. This is a really interesting experience that gives me a lot to think about. Celtic after watching Angel's Egg. funny ostrich.
Funny bird. Funny bird. I mean, isn't that like most of what Raymond thinks? Funny like, funny bird.
I always find it.
Now remember,
really
everyone, when we get
people...
criticism, what do? We kill the other people. Okay, that's what we do properly.
I always find it funny when people finish Angel's Egg and they have to be like, "Oh, let's scrub through every single second to look at all of the deep, meaningful imagery that the creator put into this work." And then you look at the creator and he's like, "Yeah, I just put random shit in there for the fuck of it because I didn't really think too deeply about this story."
Well, I think wasn't that way we responded in regards to the Christianity parallels or whatever.
Oh no, I'm dead.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Well, oh my god, look at that delay.
It's just Phoenix and the two girls.
I'm sorry. I don't know why this randomly happens.
Help!
No.
It's like when you're playing Smash Bros. And there's a character like Captain Falcon that takes you to a different location for their final smash. All the other characters just stand around and go, "Where'd they go?"
Right,
Sky Slasher says Godzilla
Am
is the poster lizard for this dichotomy. Yes.
Yes.
I love Shin Godzilla. I will probably watch like King of the Monsters more. No. I will watch fucking Final Wars over Shin Godzilla because Shin Godzilla requires a fucking mood to be in. Final Wars, though, you put that on and you just smile.
Oh, I am thinking of putting this on the list, but I need to put it on with something else that's incredibly short, or at least long enough to actually make it dedicated for our anime watch-throughs, because it's only a half an hour long. But you need to be in a mood to watch Hotarubi no Morie.
I heard Ruby in there, so I'm going very scared.
Okay.
Running full circle.
It's Forest of the Fireflies. That's what it translates to.
Oh. Is it related at all to Grave of the Fireflies? Because I've heard
Yeah,
about that one and I ain't fucking watching
No. It's about a girl who meets a boy who was raised by yokai and can never be touched unless or else he dies.
Oh.
Damn.
Hell yes. Sold instantly.
All right. Does anyone else have anything else to shill for themselves?
Yeah, me. My turn. Me.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I have announced the OC Animation Challenge Part 2. Yay! This one makes you have 2 original characters. Last year there was only 1 original character. This time you get 2 original characters, and I am super excited. There's a video explaining all the rules. Make sure you pay attention to what all the rules are, because they're important. And the deadline is August 3rd, so you have a couple more than like 2 to 3-ish months to get it all animated. Also, next month, tomorrow, Magical Girl May. So get excited for a bunch of Magical Girl stuff, but also I'll have one last RWBY video before then. But yeah, yay! That's me. That's what I got.
Yay!
Kaiser, what you got?
Sweet. Yeah, so I know I promised y'all that I would be able to, to stream this month, but clearly we're at the very end of it, and I haven't gotten around to it yet. It's because I've been so busy. I've been so busy with finals at my university and working and taking care of a bunch of other things. So this month has been yeah, let's put it that way. I'm cucking the content, but I'm cucking the content with purpose. And that purpose being that the stream on my channel will more than likely be next Friday. It'll be next Friday, probably at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The first part of it is going to be a Q&A. The second part of it will be a video response. We'll be trudging through whatever video responding after like the first 30 or so minutes of the stream. And then the rest of the stream will just be whatever else that catches my fancy at the time. So anyone who is interested, I hope y'all show up. I hope, because this will be my first time with me being the host of a stream. It's going to be an interesting experience, especially since all I have is my laptop. So that'll be something. But I hope that goes well. And if it scuffs, it scuffs. You know the deal. Aside from that, I already have a new video recorded. And I'm going to start editing it starting next month. So that should be out by the end of it, because I already know what I'm going to do with it. And it's going to go back to the bees, like I said. We're going back to basics, okay?
Back to basics.
Actually, beast. Oh my god. Actually, yeah, this is nearing the anniversary of the Bumblebee Too Little Too Late video, huh? It's like a couple months away from when the day I first put it out there. Interesting.
Oh.
Anyways, I think I might be I might be off. Somebody fact check. But anyways, and for those of you who are interested in the other podcast I'm a part of, don't tell the others about it. The New Types
You're
podcast.
cheating on us? What?
All right, to be fair, I was with them first, okay?
Yeah, we're the
side bit.
Oh, man.
Jinxed. Dude. Same energy. Y'all deserve each other. Anyways, the other podcast I'm in, the new podcast with my co-hosts, Lone Crit and Blaze Fate. We're working on some of the episodes right now. We actually pre-recorded some ahead of time, so we'll be putting out a few in the next couple of months or weeks or whatever. So I hope y'all stay tuned for that. This one will be about more Kamen Rider things, and the next recording is going to be about other stuff. So yeah, that's all from me.
Before Twi gets in, Philip Schwartz for $2. A phoenix is a self-frying bird. It comes pre-cooked. That is a statement that you have made. Good things I am a phoenix, not a phoenix, as you wrote. So I'm not currently I come grilled. All right, and Twi, you got anything coming up?
Yeah, I am still working on my new video that I'm going to post. It's turning out to be a lot longer than I thought that it was, but hey, maybe I shouldn't be dumb and realize that a 17-page script is going to be a long-ass video. I'm I'm almost done editing the audio for that, and then I'll start on making a very simplistically edited video so that I can get it out faster. Not anything like how I intricately do the animation editing for my Digimon videos, but it'll be done within at least maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know.
Hell yeah.
And finally, I don't have anything quite yet upcoming. I have things that I'm working on. I've been mentioning this. I have things in the oven, but they're taking some time to cook. Some RWBY related, some not. The most pressing one that I'm focusing on is the My Hero Academia video, which I am nearing the end. I have 104 pages of notes. 106 pages of notes. And I'm up to chapter 351, volume 35. So I am within about 70 chapters of where the manga is currently, which is getting closer and closer to the end of the series, as I can tell. So
yeah.
Look forward to that video in the next, I don't know, month or so. But and other things, there might be an audition that goes out sometime soon. We'll see how things go out, and you guys will get hints of this big project that I've been working on under the hood. But until then, this has been the Team Jack podcast. Thank you all so much for joining us. Tune in next week for other shenanigans. We'll try to figure that out. Until then, we'll catch
Leonid,
you all.
no, you're not late. You're right on time.
Yeah, being late is my job, remember.
On the flip side. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.